This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live, where it's just another day. The left did it. What are you talking? Oh yeah, these conservative-looking military men, totally leftists. Cis, white, straight males commit the majority of the violence in this country. Prove me wrong. Come on, Trumpers, I dare ya. On a day, like I had some dude in my YouTube comments saying right-wingers don't go shoot up places. And I'm like, on the day, two military dudes committed mass shootings. On the very day. There's one dude, I have a picture of him holding a duck that he hunted, and he's in camo. Is that a leftist? It could be. It's probably not, though. All these incidents keep happening in fucking Orem, Utah, and what, Grand Park, Michigan, or some shit. My lord, DJ Dub, Warlord, Holiday, welcome in. My lord, that sounds like a threat. Unless by mass shooting you mean a bukkake. Ah ha ha! That's the only kind of mass shooting I'm participating in. That's a good joke. I need to write that one down. That might go in my stage act. Oh, that is a good one. Yay. Not high enough for this shit. Holiday, we always get one at the beginning of the stream and then they go away. It's weird. Every single stream. I've been like seeing an increase in followers on like BitChute, and I went and looked at it. And apparently it's just people like, hey, I just stumbled across your channel. It's awesome. Would you like to stream to more people? Blah, blah. Like all of them are the same. And like the last 100 people that have followed me on BitChute have all been bots. Oh, by the way, this is the number 3 most listened to debate podcast in the world. Did you guys know that? In the world. I got some message from somebody that said, I think Piers Morgan was number 1. Number 2 was something I'd never heard of. Number 3 was me. And then, like, you could pay something to get featured on something. Like, it was a scam, right? But, hey, I appreciate you naming the Troll Patrol the number 3 most listened to debate podcast in the world. I might need to put that up on a banner. So the number 3 debate podcast in the world. We got a lot of news to talk about. I'm probably going to come on early tomorrow. We're going to be doing like countdown to shutdown. There's supposedly going to be a meeting with Democrats, possibly, in the White House. We don't really know for sure. Got a lot of shit going on this week. Could be a hurricane hitting the United States. Last I saw the forecast, they are expecting the... Is it Umberto? Is that the top one? And it says Imelda is the... Wait a minute. That's a man and woman's name. They're supposed to all be men's name. I don't know. Whatever the name of the I one is, whatever the name of the H one is. The H one's up here, and it's apparently going to pull the I one out into the Atlantic, and it's not going to make landfall. I'm not a meteorologist. We'll hear from an actual meteorologist here in a little bit, because I did not It alternates by location. I thought it was by year. I thought 1 year it's male names, or 1 year it's masculine names, and 1 year it's feminine names. Am I wrong? Hold on, let's look it up. Hurricane names. We learn on this stream. Formal naming schemes and lists have subsequently been used with major story. Oh, hold on. Well, how do what? I guess it does depend on the region, because like it looks like each different region gets to name it, like wherever the storm starts. Names are generally assigned to them from predetermined lists, depending on the basin in which they originate. Some tropical depressions are named in the western Pacific, while tropical cyclones must contain a significant amount of gale force winds before they are named in the southern hemisphere. Huh. The more you know. Meat Cakes, welcome in. I'm sorry I questioned you, Holiday. You were right and I was wrong. I appreciate it. Keep me honest over here. All right, let's talk about what we're going to talk about. Apparently, new Charlie Kirk conspiracy just dropped. Tyler Robinson wasn't even at UVU's campus. Candace Owens going to tell us all about it tomorrow. Marjorie Taylor Greene has come out and said she is not suicidal. This is wild, the shit we got going on. Agents have been spotted in Chicago. Portland is reacting to Trump's threats to send federal agents to Oregon. The ICE agent that we saw rough up a woman in a courtroom has been fired. Got a wild video of a different agent dropping his gun, sticking it back down. It's a wonder he didn't shoot himself in the dick. I can't wait to show you that video. Hegseth apparently wants to talk loyalty with generals that are going to Quantico. Remember Comey? Remember James Comey? He said that Trump had a dinner with him and asked if he had his loyalty. We're going to hear from McCabe about the Comey indictment. Shutdown talks apparently stalling again after it looked like we were going to see some movement. Remember last week I played you a video of Jojo Siwa? And Jojo Siwa said that any day now, Mayor Eric Adams is going to find that the price is high enough and he will drop out of the race. Today was that day. Eric Adams has now dropped out of the New York City mayor race. A man in New York was shot while he was trying to rob two off-duty police officers. A woman in California has accused a deputy of stalking her. A man has been arrested after pointing lights at cops. A shoe owner has countered vandals in a hilarious way. And I've got video of a house seemingly shifting overnight. All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening. Welcome in. Still not high enough like this. All the agitators are going to show up. I imagine that Trump is trying to create another 2020. I don't know how I feel about this. You should absolutely protest and give cops hell, but also he is trying to instigate something, it seems. Some officials in Oregon are urging residents not to take the bait. I don't know how I feel about it. Oregon Gal, good evening. We were just talking about your state. I'm not sure what to say, how to deal with the oncoming invasion. Apparently going on in Chicago and Portland. People have been posting all over Twitter like videos of, well, this is Portland right now. It's beautiful, peaceful. Man, I thought I turned the timers on to where it'd have the phone number and shit pop up. Apparently not. Can we do phone? Does it work? I tried to play with it. I don't know why it doesn't do it. It was set, I swear. So I actually did this. Let me go over to Kick. And let me. Oh, there's something popped up. You want to get? I've got all my links there. It has the Facebook and the YouTube, and I'm gonna go over to YouTube. Also, can I pin it? Yeah, pin message. There we go. Message pinned. Beautiful, beautiful. Just another day. Just another day in 3 mass shootings. USA. Though I technically think one of them was Saturday. 2 of them might have been Saturday. 1 of them might have been today. And today was also a shooting with a fire. Oh. This one had it all. I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh. This is tragic. At least 2 people are dead, more injured, and I think they're expecting more victims because I think they feel that people died inside the fire, but I'm not sure because I've not gotten an update on it. So let's get the latest from WXYZ in Detroit.
We begin tonight with that breaking news out of Grand Blanc Township, where a mass shooting at a church has left at least 2 people dead and 8 others injured. The shooter is also dead. We've also learned the Grand Blanc schools will be closed tomorrow because of this tragedy.
And the shooting happened just before 10:30 a.m. this morning at the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Police say 40-year-old Thomas Sanford from Burton rammed a vehicle into the front of the church, got out.
I don't want to say it was politically motivated, but he did have 2 gigantic American flags on the side of his lifted truck. That doesn't sound much like a lefty to me, but you know.
Fire on the parishioners inside. Police also believe the suspect deliberately set fire to the church.
7 News Detroit anchor Mike Duffy is on the scene right now and has much more on this tragedy. Mike, just
Ronnie, welcome in. Both of the shooters in Michigan and North Carolina are vets.
Incredibly hard to believe. Carolyn and Ruda, I'm about 300 yards right now from the Grand Blanc Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Let me show you right where it is. It's just at the top of that hill, beyond the tree line, right about where you can see that fire engine right there. That, of course, being an incredibly sad, somber scene, the site of another mass shooting in America. The pictures of the wreckage, the unspeakable loss being felt by this community tonight, and it is still so raw in fact that I can still smell the char in the air. I was with a couple who returned home after a long day of being kept away by police on the scene, and when they smelled it, they asked me if there was some sort of bonfire nearby, and that's when it occurred to them that it was the church that had burned down right behind their house. An incredibly sad, sad day. Now, we have Team 7 coverage for you tonight. Tara Braddock will have an update from Grand Blanc Police in just a moment. Darren Cunningham is at the alleged suspect's home. Randy Wimbley and Faraz Javed are near the scene of the shooting. But let's get
This
right
is
out
a Mormon church.
reporter Tara Braddock, who just got an update from Grand Blanc Police. Tara?
Now, police did give us an update on the conditions of those victims. Now, as we said before, 10 victims in total, and 7 are in stable condition, 1 in critical, and unfortunately, as we've been reporting, 2 are deceased. Now, this was a very short press conference, but we were able to learn the suspect's name. His name is Thomas Jacob Sanford, and he is from Burton. Now, he was killed by police at around 10:33 Sunday morning, not too long after the shooting happened at the church. Grand Blanc Township Police Chief William Rennie says there are some resources available to the community as they go through this tragic time. Hear what else he had to say.
At the Genesis Athletic Club in Grand Blanc for Monday and Tuesday from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We will have services for the community.
Look at that towhead in the
Wednesday to
corner.
Friday, those services will be available to our community at the Grand Blanc Senior Center.
Now, police are expected to have another update for us at 8 p.m. We know there's still so many questions circling out there, and we're hoping to get a little more information at that press conference. But again, just a sad and somber day out here in Grand Blanc Township. Reporting live from Grand Blanc Township, Tara Braddock, 7 News Detroit.
Tara, so many questions remain tonight. Now let's get right out to 7 News Detroit reporter Faraz Javed, who talked to people who were inside the church at the time of...
Nice vest, Faraz.
What do we know?
Mike, this has been an absolutely horrific, tragic, heartbreaking day. I just want to show you the current status of the church first, as you can see right there. This is what's left behind of the church. I've been here since 11.
If you're just joining us, this was just a couple of hours ago.
What you can
This
see
report.
right now is just a fleet of cars over here, which belong to investigators as the investigation continues.
Fire started around 10:30 local
This
time.
This car in particular, Mike, this belongs to 46-year-old Brian Taylor. Now, the reason why you see crime scene tape around it is because Brian Taylor was one of the parishioners at the church, and he saw the suspect ram into the church. Other survivors told me that the suspect rammed twice. Once Brian saw the suspect coming out with a gun, he ran to get his wife. He took 2 other parishioners, sat inside this vehicle, and tried to run when the suspect opened fire at this vehicle. Have a listen on how he describes the horrific incident.
What happened?
So we were driving away. We were trying to gather as many people as we could. There was a couple of elderly ladies that we were trying to get into safety, so we got them into our car. I saw the active shooter come out of the building, and at that point I just started trying to drive away. He pointed his gun at our car and fired 3 shots. 2 of them went through our windshield and just missed me, and luckily everybody else. I think this is just glass shrapnel that got me. And then we got out, and then now we're just trying to kind of find out why and how and what happened.
How are you right now?
Shocked. I think I'm just sad. I'm worried about people that we attended church with that we don't know the status of them. I think it's just confused, I guess, right now. It's probably...
As you can see here in the bottom, investigators believe that they may find more victims who are unable to escape the fire. We don't know if 2 is going to be the final death toll.
What I'd say, you see this kind of stuff all the time, and you just think, I guess it could happen, but no, not really. It makes no sense. It never will make sense why this kind of thing happens. As soon as we found out that he slammed into the building on purpose, I was pretty sure that then he might come out with guns drawn, and so we started running. I gathered as many people as we could, and I was driving out of the parking lot to safety when he started shooting at us.
Now, Mike, obviously, this is the vehicle of 46-year-old Brian Taylor, one of the parishioners, one of the survivors of this horrific mass shooting that took place here at Grand Blanc.
Now, he's just one of the many survivors I got a chance to speak to. I did get a chance to speak to a mother of 5 who she had just exited the church to get something from the car, and she saw.
Now, Flash, we don't know that there is any connection between the two, but it is a Mormon church. I don't believe the shooter was Mormon in Utah, but highly Mormon area. You could strain to make that connection possibly.
The suspect rammed his vehicle into the church. That's when when she says that he saw the suspect coming out of the car with the gun and with the dog and opened fire. When we come back, we're going to hear from another survivor about how she just wanted to survive and talk to her loved one and say that she's all right. For now, Mike, it's back to you.
Ascribing a motive to this is going to be hard because usually a white man attacking
for what they witnessed, and of course,
like mosque or something.
Possibly happened in
this
there.
is unusual.
Let's get right to 7 News Detroit reporter Darren Cunningham.
But once again, we have seen a rash of shooters that don't have ideological motives, that have been radicalized on the internet, on shit like 4chan and Reddit, on Telegram, and they don't necessarily do it for any kind of political reason now. It's more for the lulz. But also, this guy was like 40, right? He was 40. That's kind of unusual. That doesn't fit the pattern.
He's at the alleged suspect's home in Burton. So, Darren, what can you tell us tonight?
Yes, Mike, any moment now, investigators are expected to make their way into the suspected shooter's home here in Burton. We're on Atherton Road, about 300 feet from Thomas Jacob Sanford's property. It's on the right. It would be to the right of your screen, on the right side of the road. It sits back, and so it's not visible from our vantage point. This is the closest we've been able to get to the action here outside of the perimeter. The Michigan State Police Bomb Squad is here preparing. They've got an armored Bearcat and also an armored Caterpillar on scene, both outfitted with battering rams on the front. And there's also a robot ready to go, ready to make its way inside. We've seen a drone in use. They've had it up in the air surveying this property here. Now, according to public records, Sanford has lived in this home for at least 9 years. We're still working to learn more about him, but I spoke with a gentleman who says he's met the suspect. He described him as an outdoor...
Flash is getting excited about them using the toys.
And so, as you
I can't blame him. I would get excited.
Squad and all the law enforcement that's here, and the time that it has taken for them to eventually make their way into Sanford's home. They are taking every precaution they can because of those IEDs found at the scene. And so we will remain out here.
Oh shit, I missed that. They found IEDs at the scene.
Who has an interest in this case, or who may...
Oh yeah, his house could be booby-trapped.
Send it back to you, Mike.
All right, thank you so much, Darren. Of course, we're just in the initial stages of this investigation. Let's get to 7 News Detroit reporter Randy Wimbley.
Yeah, this is not live, but this was a couple of hours ago, this news report. This is pretty current information.
Yeah, guys, we're at another staging area of sorts for this awful attack on the Mormon church here in Grand Blanc. I want to have you take a look at what I can see from this vantage point. I'm about 600 feet away from the church building. As you guys mentioned, authorities have identified the shooter in this attack as Thomas Sanford, said to be a Marine, Iraq War veteran. He's also believed, as mentioned earlier, to have started the fire here at the church as well. As mentioned earlier, at least 3 people are dead, including Sanford, shot and killed by responding officers. More are believed to have...
Okay, so now they keep saying started the fire, but he had IEDs on him. Is it possible that there were... Nobody said anything about an explosion? Did he just come in and use gasoline and matches? Like, I'm interested. Did he have Molotovs?
Trapped inside the church during the fire and may very well have died in the blaze. Several people injured. To ram this pickup truck through the front entrance of the church building.
They lost the reporter there for a second.
Began firing several hours later, as you guys can see. Still very much an active scene here. A lot of confusion, frustration, and just anger from people in this local community. Also, several first responders, neighboring police agencies, fire departments here to lend a hand, that mutual aid and support amongst first responders to assist in this tragedy, in a particularly painful moment for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, when you consider the fact that the president of the Mormon Church died just last night, and then fast forward several hours later, this happens. So an incredibly
I did read that
moment last 24 hours for the Mormon Church as they mourn the loss of their leader, and now this brutal attack on a local congregation. 2 people, at least 2 are dead, several others injured. The person said to be responsible, Thomas Sanford, shot and killed.
Yeah, they have not shown the picture yet, so allow me to show you. This is his truck after he crashed into... Is that a door? Is there like a wooden part? I can't really make out what this is here. Seems like a door. 2 gigantic American flags. Can we make out what the stickers say? No. Bricks? I wondered at first. I thought it looked like bricks. I was like, it has to be some sort of... I thought maybe a ladder. But yeah, you might be right. Brick. Oh, the bricks fell off of the church. Okay. Like, why would he have bricks on top of his truck? Am I too high or not high enough?
By responding officers. We're going to be here for the rest of the day. As long as when we get more information, we'll pass it along to you. For now, we're live in Grand Blanc. Randy, go.
All right, Randy, so many people still trying to figure out just why all this tragedy took place, this unnecessary loss of life. Now, we know many people were trapped in that burning church and separated from their loved ones in that chaos. If you are searching for a family member, call the number on your screen, 248-705-7352. That number again is 248.
Now, I encourage pranking in a lot of
instances,
but not in this instance.
Only call if you are looking for...
Only call if you are a direct family member. Sky Comet, welcome in. That was the latest on the church shooting in Michigan. I thought the top story tonight, though, was going to be the boat club shooting in North Carolina that took place overnight last night. I think this one would have actually been, Saturday, so... Every day, just another day. In mass shooting USA. In this one, we have 3 people dead. The suspect is alive and has been charged.
3 people killed, at least 8 more wounded after a gunman on a boat opened fire into a crowd at a riverside bar in North Carolina. An evening of music and drinks turned into a night of terror.
The subject on the boat shooting into the building from the boat.
Southport officials saying the gunman on a boat began shooting at patrons of the American Fish Company, a popular waterfront pub about 30 miles south of Wilmington. Officials saying the boat then escaped up the intercoastal waterway. According to the city, a U.S. Coast Guard crew later spotted a man matching the shooter's description at a public boat ramp. He was detained and is now in custody with Oak Island police. Police are calling him a person of interest. No motive has been released.
Keep the community and those involved, our families, in your thoughts and prayers.
No information yet on the victims here. Officials saying they are waiting until the families can be notified to release any further information. Gio.
Oh, what a crazy story. All right, thank you, Olivia.
Terrible.
Yeah, let's learn more about the suspect. No longer a person of interest, has now been charged with murder.
December 27th, 2025 at approximately 9:30. Members of the Southport Police Department were dispatched to cause of shots fired with multiple injuries at the American Fish Company at 150 Yacht Basin Drive here in Southport. Reports came in rapidly of a boat sitting in the waterway reports of a subject shooting multiple patrons of the establishment. Unfortunately, 3 were wounded fatally. We have 5 injured that are at area hospitals still receiving care. The boat fled the ICW toward the Oak Island Bridge. Shortly after 10 p.m., the Coast Guard observed a single individual matching the description of the shooter, loading their boat at a public boat ramp in the area of Northeast 55th Street on Oak Island. Coast Guard crews detained the suspect, who was held at the Oak Island Police Department before being turned over to several members there.
They ain't telling us anything we don't know.
Department, Brunswick County Sheriff's Office, Marine Fisheries, and the Oak Island Police Department. Also the SBI that were assisting us in these various locations. Suspect is a now Max Edge. He's been arrested and charged with 3 counts of first-degree murder, 5 counts of attempted first-degree murder, and 5 counts of assault with a deadly weapon with intent to kill, inflict.
Nigel Max Edge. Did you guys catch that? What a fucking, like, what? You remember the episode of The Simpsons where Homer changes his name to Max Powers? Is that what? Nigel Max Edge? This is a picture of Nigel Max Edge. Tentacle Girl, welcome in. Do we have some kind of, do you guys know how to shout out on Kick? Is that a thing like it is on Twitch? If you can, shout out Tentacle Girl. I don't know if it's a thing on, I'm not familiar with Kick. We only come over here when I'm banned on Twitch. This is Nigel Max Edge. You pay for the whole seat, but you only need the Nigel Max Edge. I don't even know if it's a thing over here. I'm max edging. Oh my God. He too was like, I'm going to make sure nobody calls me a lefty. Do we know anything else about him? I don't know that we do. Faces 3 murder and 5 attempted murder charges. The combat veteran, reportedly suffering from PTSD, previously escorted Kelly Pickler to the CMAs and claimed friendly fire in Iraq by LGBTQ white supremacists. What? What? I would love to know. I would love to know what an LGBTQ white supremacist is. I've never met one. I can't imagine one, but hey, there might be one out there. And if they were going to be anywhere, they'd be in the military. So, yes. But I am reading from Times of India, which is not the most reliable source. I mean, maybe they fucked it up. Nigel Edge, who changed his name from Sean DeVois in 2023, appeared in his Marine uniform on the 2012 red carpet alongside Kelly Pickler, serving as her special date for the evening, accompanied by his service dog Rusty. DeVois, who was injured during his service in Iraq, later spoke proudly of the honor of accompanying Pickler to the event. Edge reportedly sustained injuries in 2 separate IED attacks during a 2006 tour in Iraq, as well as a gunshot wound that left shrapnel embedded in his head. In lawsuits and a book detailing his combat experiences, Edge claimed he was the target of friendly fire in a plot he alleged was orchestrated by LGBTQ white supremacists because of his sexual orientation as a straight man. Do we have the video of him with Pickler? No, hold on. We'll get it. Pickler Edge. Here is the New York Post. Always with the good gossipy shit, the New York Post. Great job. This is him with Kelly Pickler, and there's the puppy Rusty. He accused Southport's Generations Church. Wait, what? Whoa, there's more to this. Law enforcement sources described Edge as also harboring numerous QAnon conspiracy theories. Edge pulled up to the American Fish Company restaurant in Southport Yacht Basin, about 30 miles south of Wilmington, and began spraying bullets into the crowd of unsuspecting diners. His litigation against Pickler was just the latest in a series of wacky lawsuits he filed in the last year, which included numerous allegations that a cabal of LGBTQ white supremacists and pedophiles were trying to murder him because he's a straight man. He accused Southport's Generations Church of being in on the plot, along with the Brunswick Medical Center, of trying to kill him, with both lawsuits being dismissed. And he even wrote a book, Headshot, Betrayal of a Nation, where he described being wounded during deployment in Iraq and claimed that it was also part of the conspiracy to kill him. Edge has said that he was wounded in 2 separate IED attacks during the 2006 tour in Iraq and also suffered a bullet wound that left shrapnel lodged in his head.
Inflicting serious injury. There are additional charges pending. This is still a very active investigation. But there's a couple of things that I want to point out to you today before I turn it over to some of these individuals behind me. Some facts that we have at this time is that we believe that this was a targeted location. We appear that he acted in what we call a lone wolf. He acted alone. This is highly premeditated from what we're seeing at this time. And we feel there are no other threats to our community, that we do have someone in custody. So that's what's important, that I want the community to know, that we do have someone in custody, and we feel like we have no other threats this time. Still a very active investigation. I want to point that out. We're asking that anyone who was at the establishment last night, those who may have been at the establishment on Friday night, to call our office, the Southport Police Department, at 910-457-7911. Again, when we arrived last night, it was a very chaotic scene. We had people that had fled the scene before officers were arriving. We did have some injured that walked into our local hospital here on Howe Street. So we are still trying to get these folks in. We need to talk to them. Anyone who may have video of the incident, we're asking you to reach out to our police department. Again, call us at 910-457-7911. We understand this suspect identifies as a combat veteran. He self-identifies. Injured in the line of duty is what he...
Wait a minute. We can't even confirm that he's an Iraq veteran. He self-identifies.
Saying he suffers from PTSD. We want to point those facts out. But again, the bottom line is that I want to assure our community that we feel like we do have our suspect in custody, And again, we're asking for your assistance. So those are two of the things I want to make sure and reiterate before I turn the microphone over to Sheriff Chisholm to please call our office if you have any videos or if you were there.
I don't want to hear from Sheriff Chisholm. Wild that these two incidents happened hours apart, and maybe it distracted you from the fact that like another mass shooting happened. Did these two overshadow the other mass shooting that happened in America last night? The Lucky Eagle Casino apparently overloaded the hardware there, or the software. The Lucky Eagle Casino. Oh, is this just raw video? This is their B-roll, is what they call it. To the report. We had to go down and read it ourselves. Suspect has been arrested and charged in connection with a fatal shooting at a South Texas casino. On Sunday, 34-year-old Kayron Rashad Jones, a former National Guard member, also a vet. Wow. Huh. He was living in San Antonio. This looks like also B-roll, possibly outside of his home. This might be a news report. Jones is accused of 2 counts of capital murder as well as 4 counts of aggravated assault, according to the Wilson County Sheriff's Office at around 7:40 p.m. Texas DPS had attempted to stop a black Nissan truck near Scottsdale. During the pursuit, DPS troopers reportedly used their firearms in an attempt to stop the suspect's vehicle. So we had a chase with a partially disabled vehicle. The suspect continued to flee as DPS troopers, joined by deputies from the Wilson County Sheriff's Office, pursued him. The suspect was taken into custody after a successful pit maneuver while attempting to flee law enforcement. Following the arrest of Kayron Rashad Jones, law enforcement agencies are continuing their investigation into the deadly shooting at the Lucky Eagle Casino. 2 people are dead and 5 others injured. The FBI, along with the Department of Public Safety, executed a search warrant at Jones's apartment in San Antonio. He lives in an apartment complex on Patricia Road, where agents and troopers were seen gathering evidence. So, okay, this said PM up here, didn't it? Yeah, this said PM. That's what was throwing me off, is like, how did this happen today? So the chase was this morning at 7:43 a.m. They do around Houston and Dallas, but, if it wasn't long enough for them to be able to, hey, get on the scene and shit. Because they may not have their helicopter up. It's a weekend, a Sunday. They may not be like doing traffic as they would on a weekday morning. Whereas LA pretty much has their helicopters in the air all the time because there could be a police chase anytime. Flo, welcome in. Welcome, everybody. If you snuck in while we were doing the stories of the shootings. Shootings, multiple. All of them by ex-military. Almost feels like we're in a war zone here in this country, doesn't it? Trump's trying to make it one. Last week, we had a shooting at a ICE facility in Texas. The wife of one of the injured detainees is speaking out.
A deadly shooting at a Dallas ICE facility left one detainee dead and 2 others fighting for their lives. Tonight, we're hearing from the wife of one of the survivors who says she found out about the shooting hours after it happened. The Dallas County Medical Examiner identified the man killed as 37-year-old Norland Guzman Fuentes. 2 other detainees were shot, including Miguel Angel Garcia, whose wife Stephanie Goffney says he's a loving husband and father to 4 children with another on the way. Goffney says she had no idea her husband was being transported from Tarrant County Jail to the ICE facility. Hours after the shooting is when she found out he was in the hospital. She was later told that he'd been shot 8 or 9 times.
I really don't like seeing his picture around everywhere. It hurts me, I will tell you that. And I'd rather see my husband's picture on there, you know, for everyone to see, know who he is, and as a person, not just a victim, not just someone that was shot.
Officials say the gunman is 29-year-old Joshua John, and he opened fire from a nearby rooftop, targeting law enforcement officials. All 3 victims were detainees. The FBI says John...
Is this wild video from inside? It was something that was released the other day. Is the stream... Are you guys good on the stream? Holiday in here fed posting. I mean, I know I went all out and called myself Antifa and shit last week. Look at those cowards run, indeed. I don't think that kind of talk is safe anywhere. I think it'll get you a knock on the door from the Secret Service, especially from this administration. Also, to anybody on YouTube, learn what fucking fascism means. Please. I am so tired of arguing with idiots in my chat or in my comments on videos. No, I'm not. I love arguing with idiots. But anyway, they all say the same stupid shit. If you're on YouTube and you'd like to argue, 917-830-4359. Oh, guys, do you want to see Maynard? He's over here being kind of sweet. Are you going to leave? You want me to show you to the stream? May. He got down and ran from me. He went over there. Hold on. Let me try to get him. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if I got a visit from an agent. If I can tie, the only thing if they break down my door, my kitties will go running. And then you guys are like, if I'm not on for a few days and I haven't told you that something's up. Because I could not be on for a few days. We in a bit of a precarious situation. But if I don't tell you about it, if I don't let you know in advance, you need to check on me. Make sure that I'm not being in prison somewhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure Curiouser would find me somehow. She'd be the one that would be the most alert to the fact that I'm not present. But do stuff like if I'm not around for a while, like you guys, hey, make sure Justin's not imprisoned by this fascist administration. I might need it. Put me in alligator Alcatraz, you fucking fascists. And I'm fine with it, right? I don't have kids. Lost the stream. Wow. They got me. And I typed refresh. And it's in all caps. Rush Limbaugh, welcome in, my friend. But I could indeed use a little influx of cash in the next few days. So I am going to try to do a super September thing and try to promote myself for subs and tips. The tip thing should be pinned on YouTube and Kick and shit. If not, all my links. If you want to subscribe to my Patreon, like the tiers are like $1, $3, $5. Got my Twitch banned in the worst possible month and oh my god, did I go down again? Yeah, it's September. And the day I got banned was like my best day ever. The Charlie Kirk day was like my best day ever on Twitch. We got like a level 8 or 9 hype train or something. Is my internet being shitty? I'm waiting for it to come back before we actually move on to the news so nobody misses anything. I'm sorry if you drop out. Is everything good? I got a red light over here. And now we're back to green light. Everything's fucking crazy. But no, and you may say, well, Justin, you're smoking marijuana, so you got money for marijuana. I haven't bought pot since like my birthday. Curiouser is just like, here, I don't want you to be out. And I'm like, you don't have to give this to me. This marijuana is because Curiouser gave me marijuana. Justin has had a really hard time because I would assume a freelancer like myself, who I have never had to go looking for work. Usually if work has been there, and I've been doing this for 7 fucking years. And on all the platforms I'm on, I'm top rated. I'm 5 stars, whatever. And I've never had to go out looking for work. People approach me like, hey, will you do this project, this project? That has completely dried up in the last 3, 4, 5 months. Curiouser has told me AI took your job. And I'm like, I can't imagine AI could take my job. But something has happened and my income has completely dried up. And it fucking sucks. Because I am not big enough as a streamer to support myself. And my landlord has actually been super fucking cool. And he's had every right not to be. Because I've even made things harder on him and he's still been super fucking cool to me. Oh my god! Am I dropping out again? Who saw my Twitter? No, I doubt if my landlord saw my Twitter, he'd be as happy with me. He seems like he's probably a MAGA kind of guy. Seems like he probably doesn't care that much about politics, but is MAGA in the sense of vibes, That's how he strikes me. Am I still barely hanging on? What, all my clients just saw my Twitter at once? Now, the Republican firm I work for, I still work for. But once again, and that's just completely coincidental with everything else, is I used to depend on them for $200-$300 a week sometimes. At the least, I'd make $70 a week out of them. But that has dried up because they're in power. So they're not lobbying for things. So I'm not making propaganda for them. So like that has been like a completely separate issue, because like I worked for a logistics firm and they like lost fucking 60% of their, oh my, like my internet keeps bouncing back and forth. Are you guys sticking with me though? It's not dropping completely out. That's why I've been just kind of yakking and packing a bong. I've been waiting for like everything to kind of seem like it stables out, or whatever you'd say. We are going to start experiencing some storms off the coast. I don't know if that has an effect on you. I've got red light right now, but it's still going though. Okay. You guys say it's good. Let's hit some weed and keep going on the news then, I guess. But yeah, like I hate to ask anybody for money, but if you really want to make sure that the Troll Patrol stays on in the coming weeks, then the links are in the chat. Patreon, Ko-fi, the PayPal, my Cash App, Venmo, everything's there. That's why I made the show supported by your donations, and tried to get my shit working again. Hey, and if you are a right winger, I also go to all my links. My Give Send Go is on there. If you would like to try to get me deported for being a lefty, you can go and give money there on my Give Send Go. I will tattoo MS-13. I had to reactivate it. It had been because nobody ever donated to it. So plenty of people gave me prayers. Nobody donated. If you'd like to see me deported, boom. I was listening to a YouTube essay about comedies and like how there's not any raunchy comedies anymore. And, you know, like the comedies we have had have been like, you know, Don't Look Up isn't really a comedy. It has a message that it delivers to you in a comedic format. We don't have a comedy for comedy's sake. I would like to change that. I would like to not be here doing politics. I would like to be out here directing movies or something. This is the world we fucking live in right now. Yeah, my internet, what's going on is it is bouncing back and forth really bad, which is very unusual because I'm on fiber optic. Oh, that was a tough one. But yeah, I'm probably going to get on early tomorrow. We're going to do some news. We're going to do shutdown countdown. I'm also going to try to do end of September, but you can't sub to me, so will you please give me tips and shit? I mean, I guess you can sub on Kick if you wanted to. You can become a member on YouTube. I need to get in a position where I don't have to do other work so that I can provide extra content to members and all that good shit. I never like I don't want to make $1 million. I just want to fucking make on a too much to ask. I can be the size of Cult of Dusty or Amazing Atheist or somebody like that. I can totally do. I can get that high. Porky's is incredibly raunchy. Are you saying that as a joke? All right, internet may be leveling out. Because ultimately, this is what I've always wanted to do. Not necessarily streaming. I'm just adapting to the format. I've always wanted to be a radio host. I love radio. This is like interactive radio. It's way cooler. I'm a broadcast nerd. I laid here last night. I tried to play video games. I was just kind of in a malaise and I couldn't really focus. So I started just watching these documentaries about the history of late night television and Tom Snyder and Dick Cavett. I fucking love shit like that. Okay, the internet seems to be back level. It's been green light consistently. Really, you've never seen it. It is incredibly raunchy. I think there's a rape scene in it, isn't there? Where they like trick a girl and like she thinks she's with somebody else and shit. Like it's been 25, 30 years since I've seen it. Like when I was a teenager. All right, let's get back to the news. I think I already had next story ready to go. Yeah, internet looking good. We're back, baby. Sorry to podcast people who are just like, what was that weird break? Federal immigration agents spotted in downtown Chicago.
A number of armed Border Patrol agents have been marching through downtown Chicago, largely in the Loop area.
WGN's
Carla, welcome in.
Joins us now from Clark and Wacker. Brona.
Good evening, guys. Yeah, really bizarre scene in the downtown area. Dozens of Border Patrol agents making their way.
You're really Irish.
The Loop here, very much wanting to be seen. We even witnessed some of them taking selfies. Lots of other
brazenly Irish
phones out as well, though, telling us they were shocked at what they're witnessing.
There's nothing happening here to protect. There's no crime. There's no riot. People are just enjoying a wonderful day.
As Chicagoans and visitors to the city enjoyed a sunny Sunday, sipping wine and eating outside, a blatant show of force stepped through the downtown area.
That was pretty alarming, just to see a group of masked guys walking around with ARs, silenced ARs. It's pretty intimidating.
Though our closest national border is over 5.
Hey, Bobby, would you like to call in? 917-830-4359. Question marks. Welcome in. I've got less than 2 weeks on my Twitch ban. I will be back in less than 2 weeks. I was popped for showing the Charlie Kirk video. Shelly, welcome in. Yeah, spoiler alert, they were there for her. The ICE agents are coming to deport the Irish woman.
Town area, dozens of Border Patrol agents making their way through the Loop here, very much wanting to be seen. We even witnessed some of them taking selfies. Lots of other people had their phones out as well, though, telling us they were shocked at what they're witnessing.
There's nothing happening here to protect. There's no crime. There's no riot. People are just enjoying a wonderful day.
As Chicagoans and visitors to the city enjoyed a sunny Sunday, sipping wine and eating outside, a blatant show of force stepped through the downtown area.
That was pretty alarming, just to see a group of masked guys walking around with ARs, silenced ARs. It's pretty intimidating.
Though our closest national border is over 500 miles away, dozens of armed Border Patrol agents descended on Chicago, seemingly led by Commander Gregory Bovino.
Are we ready? Whenever you're ready, sir. I'm ready.
Oh, this dude.
Away through the Millennium Park area, onto the riverfront, and even travelling on the water itself.
I'm a Republican. I'm a conservative. I feel that President Trump has hijacked conservatives, has hijacked the Republican Party.
Jacob Narayan finding himself face to face with this spectacle after stepping out of his home.
I'm just walking from my home to my office, and there are armed military personnel on the streets of Chicago for no reason.
In terms of the Charlie Kirk video, I showed the far away shot where like they're up in the crowd and you see him grab his neck and kind of go down, and then the dude like shifts. So I didn't really think it was that graphic. And then all the other, like the news station we were watching showed the other video but blurred. But I guess technically I showed a man dying, and that's against Twitch rules. But I didn't figure it was any different than showing the JFK assassination, right? Because, like, you don't ever see the graphic, his brain's falling out of his head. You bagging to the left.
It's completely unjustified.
Mr. President, do not come to Chicago. You are neither wanted here nor needed here.
Today's display a direct defiance of requests made to President Trump at the state and city level, as those watching it unfold say they're on edge about what comes next.
What I'm fearful of, that this could be normalized, that this is what should happen in our country, when there's no need for this at this point in time.
Now, right now, here where we're standing in the Loop, this is the first police district. If you're looking at crime in this district specifically, it is currently down by 14%. If you take the rest of the city into consideration, we're told by Chicago police that it is down 13%. Now, inside of the last hour, elected officials, community leaders have gathered at the office of the Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights. That press conference is happening over on Wabash Avenue as we speak. Now, amongst those gathered, Congressman Jesus Chuy Garcia, Lieutenant Governor Juliana Stratton, and many others. They have largely been reminding the community of their rights, encouraging Chicagoans to look out for each other, and they have been condemning what they say is federal overreach.
Today's downtown operation, with our fellow Chicagoans being racially profiled and kidnapped by immigration agents in broad daylight, represents a major escalation by the Trump administration. And we're not going to stand for it. That's why you see so many people here represented from all levels of government and community. Together, we are here to condemn this ongoing overreach and expose ICE's operation as one that separates families, disappears our neighbors, and harms Illinoisans of all backgrounds, citizens and non-citizens alike.
Now, it is not clear at this time where those Border Patrol agents have marched to. We do know that when they were in the area here of Clark and Wacker, there were at least some people protesting them. We do not know at this point if that has persisted as they've made their way through the downtown area. We did also speak directly with the commander who seems to be leading all of this. We'll have more from him on WGN News at 9. We're live in the Loop. Bruna Tumulty, WGN News.
Bruna, thank you. In a statement, Governor Pritzker said, quote, the Trump administration's DHS officers appear to be carrying large weapons around downtown Chicago in camouflage and masks. This is not making anybody safer. It is a show of intimidation, instilling fear in our communities and hurting our businesses. We cannot normalize militarizing American cities and suburbs. Make sure you know your rights and stay alert.
Posse Comitatus, bitch. T-minus, welcome in. Portland also preparing for their invasion. Let's listen to Portlandians give their opinion on the ICE invasion.
Now back to our top story this morning. Reactions are pouring in from dozens of local leaders who signed a letter to unite against President Trump's plan to deploy the National Guard in Portland. In all, more than 100 local leaders have signed that statement so far. The Portland Metro Chamber released a letter called Portland Doesn't Need the Federal Troops. It's co-signed by Governor Kotek, Mayor Keith Wilson, senators, House representatives, many others. They say there's no reason for the Trump administration to deploy the troops, and they say the plan is counterproductive to Portland's recovery and success in improving its public safety. The letter points to recent crime data showing a 51% decrease in murders in the first half of 2025, as well as a nearly 60% decline in gun violence since 2022. Leaders claim federal deployment would threaten their progress and would have a similar effect on cities that it did on cities like Washington, D.C., which they say saw restaurant sales drop by 30% during the National Guard deployment there. One local business leader who spoke at a press conference yesterday agrees that the deployment could have a negative impact on Portland's economy.
Business perspective is that this is not good for our economy. We don't want our retail hospitality and vibrancy to be impacted like we've seen in Washington, D.C. Portlanders have always met challenges with strength and unity. Right now, the most powerful response to the presence of federal troops in our city is not to give into provocation, but to stand together in calm resolve. By refusing to feed into unnecessary conflict and choosing not to amplify division, we show that Portland's identity is stronger than the outside narrative.
Some local leaders do welcome the president's plan with open arms. The U.S. Secretary of Labor and former Congresswoman for Oregon's 5th Congressional District, Lori Chavez DeRemer, posted on social media that, quote, I've seen firsthand how lawlessness has transformed Portland from a beautiful place.
She works for the administration.
War zone. Thank you, POTUS, for taking action to keep our ICE facilities protected and make America safe again. Republican leaders have taken to social media to applaud and justify the president's calls to send U.S. troops to defend federal facilities. Attorney General Pam Bondi posted on X yesterday that there will be zero tolerance for what she calls domestic terrorism.
We've seen this before. We saw it in Portland and with the LA riots. These are not peaceful protests. These are coordinated attacks by radical extremists, and they end now. Anyone who threatens or assaults our federal officers will be arrested and charged federally, not in some liberal state court. Same goes for anyone who's funding and aiding these extremists. You will be dismantled brick by brick. We are taking our country back. Make America safe again.
These descriptions of Portland have plenty of locals talking. Fox 12's Michaela Armstrong talked to people across the city who told her it's not the Portland they know.
In a city President Donald Trump calls war-ravaged and like living in hell, many we spoke with Saturday say they disagree.
Yeah, look at it. It's super war-torn right now.
That's too short.
Tons of people fighting, tons of people shouting, everybody's scared. No, it's not.
It feels almost a little delusional. It feels like maybe the people that are saying these kinds of things haven't actually visited and haven't actually seen what they're talking about.
President Trump has referred to Portland multiple times this month, claiming that paid terrorists were wreaking havoc in Portland. He announced Saturday morning that troops will be coming to Portland in full force, and some Portlanders believe this is a huge mistake.
I feel furious. I feel really angry that he's using it as a political ploy, and we clearly do not need his troops here. And it's just a waste of money, time, and it's going to upset a lot of Portlanders.
I think that it's very a shame because the people here are very peaceful. We're mostly hippies here and love nature and hikers. And having someone come in and terrorize the locals just to distract us from what they're doing is really bad.
If you actually go around Portland, you may see what they see. Whether it's spending time in Pioneer Square, going to the famous Powell's Books, or catching a game at Providence Park, where one Portlander says it's easy to see Portland.
What a beautiful area.
Fun, laid back, open-minded, safe. There's a community, everybody looks out for each other, there's so much to do, everybody has a good time.
But with troops potentially coming, some say that could change the city for the worst.
Portland is a beautiful city. Right now we are incredibly calm and we love our city and we do not want troops from the Trump administration to come here.
Michaela Armstrong, Good Day, Oregon.
The dream of the 90s is alive in Portland. I was in a pizza place in Atlanta one time, And the waitress, the very first thing she said to me was, "Have you ever been to Portland? You would love it there." Like, what a thing to say to someone. I guess I look like I would live in Portland. I wonder why people wouldn't want ICE agents in their community. Watch his gun there. Watch his gun. He's got somebody's head into the pavement. That's inhumane. Boom. The dude pushes the gun away.
Put the gun down. Put the gun down. Put the gun down. You're gonna shoot me? Point the gun. We have it.
He pointed the gun at bystanders.
Put the gun down.
You're trying to shoot me? Go ahead, shoot me. Shoot me.
Put the gun down.
After dropping it.
What's your name? What's your name?
Put the gun on me. Go ahead. I ain't fucking scared.
What's your name?
Yeah, he's trying to shoot me.
Get out of here.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Did the magazine fall out of it? I was like, surely that's not the magazine, because he would have picked it up.
No, he got the gun. He got the gun. ¿Qué es su nombre?
That's where all the weight is, isn't it, Flash?
No. Hey. ¿Qué es su nombre? ¿Qué es su nombre? Right here.
And that doesn't mean there's not one in the chamber. Hey, what are they doing over there? What the fuck? Does this look like competent law enforcement to you?
Well, why are you listening?
Why is he humping him like that?
¡Ayuda! ¡Me está matando!
Hey, back up.
¡Suéltame! ¡Suéltame! ¡Ayúdame!
Grab leg guns.
Grab leg guns out of the car.
No.
¡Ayuda! ¡Ayuda! Grab leg guns out of the car, please.
Everything about this is wrong.
¡Me está ahorcando, viejo!
Look how small this dude was. The fuck?
¿Qué es su nombre? ¿Cómo te llamas? Jo Mendoza.
This is insanity. Your tax dollars are funding that bullshit. What'd that little dude do? He didn't do shit, did he? You tell me he's some kind of drug trafficker or a terrorist? Maybe he's Antifa. Remember, I think it was Thursday, we watched the video of the woman in the courtroom. The ICE agent kept telling her, adios, adios, and then he slammed her on the ground. Well, at least he got reprimanded. He's been relieved of his duty. I don't know if that means he's been fired completely.
Crucial confrontation. The ICE officer now relieved of his duties after what this video showed him doing.
He could still be on the payroll, though.
Natalie and David have the night off. That ICE agent's conduct deemed, quote, unacceptable and beneath the men and women of ICE. Those words coming from the Department of Homeland Security after seeing the widely circulated video. A woman shoved to the ground in front of her children. She had been pleading with agents not to detain her husband after an immigration hearing yesterday. News 4's Linda Baquero is live in Lower Manhattan with the latest for us. Linda?
And Gilma, it's a video that spread quickly on social media, and today a quick reaction from the Department of Homeland Security, relieving the ICE agent seen in the video of his duties pending the outcome of an investigation. In a hallway at 26 Federal Plaza, a man from Ecuador, who officials say had just attended an immigration hearing, stands with his family, holding his daughter's hand when ICE agents tell him to let go of the girl. Let go of the girl, you're being detained, one tells him. His wife, Monica Elizabeth Moreta, links arms with her husband, their daughter between them. She says, "We're all going," she says. "We're all going." The agent says that's not how it works. Her husband is heard saying, "I didn't do anything wrong." A scuffle ensues as agents attempt to separate the family.
Just grab her, put her away.
The husband is eventually removed, the child left crying. As her husband is escorted away, the video shows Moreta struggling with ICE agents, at times heard saying, "Let me go." At one point in the video, an agent in a plaid shirt and baseball cap lifts her off the ground and carries her to a room. Her children are ushered in while she yells "no" repeatedly. The door is slammed closed, blocking out cameras. Video resumes near an elevator bank, Moreta confronting the same agent in a plaid shirt. He repeatedly yells "bye" as she tries to talk to him, saying at one point, "My hair was pulled. You don't care about anything." The agent shoves her backwards into a wall, knocking her to the floor, standing over her and pointing as she lay on the ground. After the confrontation, Moreta telling us, "I've lived like this back in my country. They've already beaten me there, almost killed me, and we had to go into hiding. Imagine coming here to the United States. I thought I'd feel protected, but now with this, they just grabbed me and beat me like I was a criminal." Today, the Assistant Secretary of the Department of Homeland Security back here live in front of 26 Federal Plaza. We've asked ICE why the husband was detained. No response to that yet, but the next hearing for the family's asylum claim is scheduled for next May. That's the latest live in Lower Manhattan. I'm Linda Baquero, News 4.
The Biden administration let illegal immigration out of control. Did that actually happen, or were you fed that line of bullshit from right-wing media? I hate to inform you, Bobby, but Biden deported more people than Trump did. Like, in an average month, Biden would deport more people than what Trump has since he's been back in office. But Trump makes a big show of it to convince idiots that, you know, he's cracking down on crime, because that's what fascists do. Bobby, you're doing exactly the fascist playbook. You're accusing the other side of what you are guilty of, being out of control, then blaming us for your lawlessness.
Come on, man.
Anonymously, welcome in. Good evening, my friend. My internet's been doing some weird, it's bouncing back and forth. It's not being consistent tonight, and it'll drop out every now and again, which is odd. But we're gonna chug along. Oh yeah, we're going to Quantico this week. Apparently this is gonna possibly coincide with the shutdown of the government. If it happens, like, I'm gonna come on tomorrow, we're gonna do like a supersized stream. We're going to do like the countdown to the shutdown. I don't know what you mean. I don't like. Bobby, I love hearing things that are. Please call in 917-830-40. You can say whatever you want. My friend, I did debate in college and high school. I worked for a right-wing radio host in 2016 and 17. Tell me I don't like. We watch predominantly right-wing stuff when we get to the political stuff. I don't like the media. Please call in, Bobby. I would love to hear what you have to say. 917-830-4359, or you can hop into the Discord. Just tell me if you get into the Discord chat. There's a debate freaking channel. We would all love to hear what you have to say. Apparently what's going to happen is if the government shuts down, all of these generals are going to be trapped here. There's no way to fly them back to where they were before. So that makes things very interesting with this loyalty pledge we got going on. Reuters is reporting that Hegseth is going to ask about loyalty. And that should alarm everyone. The Fox News host gathering generals to talk about loyalty.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has summoned U.S. military leadership from around the world for a rare gathering in Virginia on Tuesday.
This is extremely unusual, even unprecedented. And what's unprecedented is the size and the short notice.
Mark Cancian, a retired Marine Corps colonel and senior advisor with the Center for Strategic and International Studies, says the upcoming meeting is unique for a few reasons.
It is mystifying why this was not done virtually. Well, a lack of an agenda is also very unusual. Senior leaders' meetings always have agendas that are hammered out weeks in advance, so everyone is prepared. My understanding from talking to people in...
Imagine if Obama had done any of this shit. But that's the problem. That's the problem, is that idiot-ass right-wingers think Obama did all this shit. Think Biden did all this shit. And they think this is okay in retaliation because they listen to right-wing media tell them like a fantasy of what is going on. Zoom is woke. That's why they couldn't do it as a Zoom meeting or as an email.
The meeting is about than the rest of us do.
2 U.S. officials, speaking on the condition of anonymity, said Hegseth will likely discuss the military adhering to a, quote, warrior ethos. A third official said it was likely that substantive issues, like the administration's new national defense strategy and the expected shrinking of the senior-most ranks in the military, could be discussed.
It's likely also that the secretary is going to rally the troops. He's going to say you're either on board or you need to get out.
This is a fascist move. This is what fascist governments do.
The department have been leaking, in his view, or have not been sufficiently supportive of the president's direction. And he will likely take a pretty hard line there about the need to support the president and be loyal.
Asked for comment, Pentagon spokesperson Sean Parnell said only, quote, the Secretary of War will be addressing his senior military leaders early next week. Parnell's office did not respond to questions about the number of officers, purpose of the meeting, or why Hegseth called it so abruptly.
I want to do something because I've had a lot of right-wingers in my comments on my YouTube videos. And once again, Bob, if you'd like to have a conversation with me, please join the voice channel, and then we can talk this out. I would like to point you to the definition of fascism. Fascism is a far-right, authoritarian, ultra-nationalist political ideology and movement that rose to prominence in the early 20th century Europe. Fascism is characterized by a dictatorial leader, centralized autocracy, militarism, forcible suppression of opposition, belief in a natural social hierarchy, subordination of individual interests for the perceived interest of the nation or race, and strong regimentation of society and the economy, opposed to communism, democracy, liberalism, pluralism, and socialism. Fascism is at the far right of the traditional left-right spectrum. My hatred of Trump, everyone should hate Trump. He is a pedophile. He is a pedophile con man. Everyone should hate Trump. You're telling me that you become more fascist because I mock the dipshit. Like, are you listening to yourself? That's why I call right-wingers fucking morons. You guys are the dumbest people walking the planet. You're saying that me rightfully pointing out that Trump is a fascist and a racist, and it's not just me, my friend. It's not just me, the leftist, okay? Trump's chief of staff, a decorated 4-star general, John Kelly, said that Trump praised Hitler and has fascist tendencies. Retired 4-star General John Kelly, who was one of Donald Trump's White House chief of staffs, told the New York Times Trump would rule like a fascist if reelected. Kelly also spoke to the Atlantic's editor-in-chief, Jeffrey Goldberg, for a new piece in which he quotes Donald Trump as once having said, "I need the kind of generals that Hitler had." Brother, you put in a dementia patient. You guys slandered Joe Biden. He's still out here living his best life, looking amazing.
Come on, man.
And Trump is absolutely fucking losing it while he's taking away our democracy. You are anti-American. I don't know what to, and blaming us for the idiot that you elected. We elected a pedophile con man to own the libs. We did away with democracy and freedom in the country to own the libs. What kind of fucking brag is that? That's why I call you people fucking morons. Even Rush Limbaugh recognized how fucking batshit crazy you people are.
As a conservative, it's getting harder and harder to not look like a kook.
So I don't know what to tell you. And your ass is not getting in my voice chat, so we're going to move on with the news. You don't get to, it's a hijacking the show if you don't actually, man up and debate me. You're just being a pussy. When I said go to Discord, there is a voice chat. You get on and talk to me so that we can have a man-to-man discussion. I can explain to you how stupid you are. That's all I can tell you, my friend. So they're flying all these generals to Quantico to make sure that they are properly loyal to our fascistic dictator, Donald J. Trump. Remember when Comey had his dinner with Trump during the first Trump administration? From the loyalty dinner to the indictment. Comey was 3 years into a 10-year term as the FBI director, and he held a news conference to say that the Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton would not face charges over her handling of classified information on her private email server as Secretary of State. This was July 5th. Trump, the Republican nominee for president, is outraged, saying it was proof the system is rigged against him. Very unfair, Trump posted on Twitter. Comey's FBI, meanwhile, had begun investigating Russia's hacking of Democrats' emails and other interference in the election. On October 31st, Trump praises Comey for announcing publicly that he was notifying Congress about additional developments in the FBI's Clinton email investigation. This is, days before the election. It was like 6-7 days before the election. Critics, including Clinton, were furious, saying Comey's move would unfairly help Trump win. Trump was elected, saying it took a lot of guts. He brought back his reputation. What he did was the right thing. On January 6th of 2017, after an intelligence briefing on Russian interference in the election, Comey privately briefs President-elect Trump on some personally sensitive aspects of the information contained in the now infamous Steele dossier about Kremlin efforts to influence Trump's campaign. Comey documents the exchange immediately afterward in contemptuous notes. He will later testify, featuring future disputes with Trump over what transpired. To ensure accuracy, I began to type it on a laptop in an FBI vehicle outside of Trump Tower the moment I walked out of the meeting. Comey told the Senate Intelligence Committee investigating Russian election interference on June 8, 2017. Creating written records immediately after one-on-one conversations with Mr. Trump was my practice from that point forward. On January 27th, so this is 7 days into the first Trump presidency, Trump and Comey have a private dinner at the White House, with Comey saying Trump wanted it and that he felt uneasy with it. Trump says Comey asked for the dinner because he wanted to stay on as FBI director, even though the 10-year FBI terms are designed to stretch beyond presidential administrations to ensure the director's independence from politics. Trump repeatedly presses Comey to pledge loyalty to him despite the ongoing Russian investigation. Comey later testifies Comey resists offering honesty, and the two settle on honest loyalty. In an Oval Office meeting on Valentine's Day of 2017, Trump tells all attendees but Comey to leave, and then he tells the FBI director to let Flynn go, which Comey interprets as an attempt to influence the FBI investigation into Trump's first national security advisor, Michael Flynn, who had just resigned over contacts with Russian officials. I hope you can see your way clear to letting this go, to letting Flynn go, Trump said, according to Comey's contemporaneous notes. He's a good guy. On May 9th of 2017, and this is 3-4 months into the first Trump presidency, Trump stuns the political world by firing Comey at the height of the Russian election interference investigation. Trump initially claims it was due to Comey's handling of the Clinton email server investigation he had earlier championed, but later admits this Russia thing was indeed a factor. In his termination letter, Trump refers to that FBI investigation, telling Comey he appreciated him informing me on 3 separate occasions that I am not under investigation, a claim Comey would later deny. On May 12th, Trump tweets a warning to Comey, hinting that their conversations might have been recorded and would embarrass his former FBI director. James Comey better hope that there are no tapes of our conversations before he starts leaking to the press. Lordy, I hope there are no tapes. Then on June 22nd, Trump flip-flops, tweeting that I did not make and I did not have any such recordings. God damn. On June 8th, speaking publicly for the first time since his abrupt firing, Comey delivers bombshell testimony before a Senate committee, including saying he believed Trump ordered him to drop the investigation into his former top aide, Michael Flynn's ties to Russia. Comey also tells the Senate Intelligence Committee that he now believes Trump fired him to relieve pressure from the ongoing FBI investigation into possible collusion between Trump campaign associates and Russia. On April 12th, excerpts emerged from Comey's tell-all memoir, A Higher Loyalty. Oh, this is the next year, April 12th of 2018. This is Comey's memoir he wrote. He blasts Trump as being unethical and untethered to truth and institutional values. Comey also writes his leadership is transactional, ego-driven, and about personal loyalty, and doing serious damage to the country's norms and traditions. Spot on! On December 9th, the Justice Department Inspector General delivers a report on Crossfire Hurricane, the code name for the FBI's Trump-Russia investigation. It debunks Trump's longstanding claims that political bias played a role in the FBI's decision to launch the probe and target Trump's campaign, saying there was no valid factual basis to do so. It also finds serious problems in the way the FBI applications for secret FISA surveillance warrants were obtained. Something us on the left have complained about since the Bush administration, by the way. On September 30th of 2020, Comey is called to testify before Senate Republicans as part of their effort to re-examine and critics say undermine the FBI's Russia investigation as Trump campaigns for a second White House term. Comey defends the investigation as being done by the book and essential. Comey also makes statements that will later form the basis of the criminal charges against him, including about whether he authorized anyone else at the FBI to serve as an anonymous source in news reports about investigations into Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton. May 15th, 2025, of earlier this year, Secret Service and FBI say they're investigating Comey after he posts an image of 8647 on social media, which Trump claims was Comey's way of calling for the assassination of the president. Cool shell formation on my beach walk, Comey said in his Instagram post, with seashells forming the numbers 8647 on a beach. Comey later took down the post, saying he was unaware the apparent political message could have been associated with violence. In U.S. parlance, number 86 can be used as a verb, meaning to throw somebody out of a bar for being drunk or disorderly, and 47 is code for Trump, the 47th president. He knew exactly what he meant. A child knows what that meant, Trump said in an interview with Fox News. I always thought it meant to take something off the menu when they ran out of something. James Comey's daughter, New York federal prosecutor Maureen Comey, on July 16th, who worked on the prosecutions against Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, and Sean Diddy Combs, fired by the Department of Justice. Once again, another nod to the fact that Trump is indeed a fucking pedophile. Maureen Comey was given a memo on her firing that noted the president's broad constitutional powers to terminate employees, including to Reuters. On September 20th of 2025, Trump calls on Attorney General Pam Bondi to go after his political adversaries, including Comey, in a post on Truth Social, saying the former FBI director is guilty as hell, without explaining what Comey is allegedly guilty of. We can't delay any longer, and justice must be served now. Critics took that to mean that Trump wanted Bondi to act on Comey before the statute of limitations ran out on September 30th with regard to his 2020 testimony before Congress. In a separate post the same day, Trump said he fired Eric Siebert, who until recently had served as the U.S. Attorney for the Eastern District of Virginia and had reportedly declined to bring charges against Comey. Trump replaced Siebert with a former personal defense lawyer who has never prosecuted a criminal case. On September 25th, 2025, Comey is indicted on charges of lying to Congress and obstruction of regarding his mostly said that day that he had FBI to be in an investigation. He claimed and prevail. Trump that the Russian probe was politically motivated. One of the worst human beings this country has ever been exposed to is James Comey, the former corrupt head of the FBI. Trump posted on Truth Social, he has been so bad for our country for so long and is now at the beginning of being held responsible for his crimes against our nation. But the extreme left is a problem. Bob, Joe Biden was as moderate as they come. Hell, he was pretty fucking conservative. Like, how are you so batshit crazy, man? Listen to what you're saying to me. Hillary was a terrible candidate. People don't like her. Trump was more of an outsider. You're talking about feels. You're voting based on your feels. How people make you feel, not on policy. Not because you actually care about this country and upholding the rule of law. You're voting on feels. You are stupid. And thanks to you, we've lost it. Democracy gone down the toilet. You have an autocratic fascist fucking baby who is a pedophile and a con man. He was never actually a billionaire. You guys actually made him a billionaire. Congrats. Bravo, bravo, motherfuckers. Dude was always just bluster. He was probably in the hole most of his life. But came out here, fake it until you make it kind of shit. He made a lot of money off of licensing his name. He didn't actually own things. All his businesses went under. But good job. You actually made him a billionaire because there were enough of you to buy into his cult. Bravo, brother. Bravo. You are proud of that because Joe Biden was what? I don't even know what. He passed the Build Back Better Act, which Republicans all over this country are taking credit for the projects locally that money is because it's being distributed now. It has been through this past year, and these Republicans are all taking credit for, we helped build that. Or the projects are finally opening up after being built over the last couple of years. What did Joe Biden do to hurt your little fifis, man? Seriously. Immigration? There was no invasion. We covered it multiple nights. It's just people, it's millionaires sitting in a studio in New York City getting you riled up over fucking nothing. Cause racism is easy. Actually coming up with a plan and being an adult in the room, putting together a budget and having policies that help people, that's hard. But going on Fox News and being a demagogue, that's easy. And it gets people like you riled up because you're dumb. And it's effective. Look up, and if you don't know what demagoguery is, look it up. Please. Fucking never mind. I'm going to look it up. Everybody needs to know. Rhetoric that appeals to the prejudices of people. It didn't really go into it. Go more. A leader who makes use of popular prejudices and false claims and promises in order to get power. A leader championing the cause of the common people in ancient times.
Demagoguery.
Playing to your base fears as opposed to actually... Did they ever give me... The methods or practices of a demagogue. A person, especially an orator or political leader, who gains power and popularity by arousing the emotions, passions, and prejudices of the people. There you go. That's the best definition. Dictionary.com. Who gains power and popularity by arousing the emotions, passions, and prejudices of the people. That's what they do to you guys with trans people, with immigrants, anything you don't understand. Because, like, people that know immigrants are likely to be pro-immigration. People that don't know immigrants and live in their little white neighborhoods, their little white bubbles, tend to be anti-immigration. If you don't know a trans person, very easy to demagogue against them. But if you have a trans friend, you understand their humanity. The demagogues always focus on smaller communities that there's large groups of people that aren't likely to interact with, because it's easier to go after the small community. That's why, once again, it's very important. It's not actually a poem, but it is. Most people know it as a poem. First They Came For by Pastor Martin Nomoller. First they came for the communists, and I did not speak out because I was not a communist. Then they came for the socialists, and I did not speak out because I was not a socialist. Then they came for the trade unionists, and I did not speak out because I was not a trade unionist. And then they came for the Jews, and I did not speak out because I was not a Jew. Then they came for me, and there was no one left to speak out for me. That's why they always attack. Organized labor is the biggest threat to fascists. That's why they go after communists, socialists. Donald Trump explicitly, a nationalist movement, appeals to white people and, in a sense, make America great again. A nationalistic myth about what we used to be. Some greatness that existed. That's what they always appeal to. This is the fascist playbook. You're failing an open book test, my friend. Talking specifically to Bob, if he's still here. I'm going to skip McCabe. Nobody gives a shit about John. Is it John McCabe? What the fuck is his name? Josh McCabe? And like to come at me and be like, oh, the milquetoast policies of Joe Biden were out of control. Give me a fucking break.
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
They want it. They want a strong man. I don't get it. I'm into freedom and telling people to suck my balls and shit. I'm very anti-authoritarian. DJ Dub apparently has been diagnosed with some sort of anti-authoritarianism. Amazing. Yeah, I don't know what's extreme about the left. We want everybody to have higher wages, better benefits, health care. Yeah, right-wingers are cucks that want to be controlled, basically. I don't know how else to put it. I didn't want to get into this yet, but I mean, this is too big not to touch on. Jeffrey Epstein apparently helped broker an Israeli security agreement. Ryan Grimm breaking this today. Jeffrey Epstein used his political network and financial resources to help broker a security cooperation agreement between the governments of Israel and Mongolia, according to a trove of leaked emails from former Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Barak. This new set of emails between Barak and Epstein has largely been ignored by the mainstream press, but includes crucial new context on Epstein's operation. It is well known that Epstein had personal ties to Israel, including a senior political officials like Barak and Ehud Olmert, and that he donated to organizations like Friends of the IDF. But Epstein's activities in Mongolia show for the first time that he facilitated a deal that led to a security agreement between Israel and other nations. The leaked emails were released by Hendala, a pro-Palestinian hacking group with speculated ties to Iran. The documents were posted by Distributed Denial of Secrets, a nonprofit whistleblower and file-sharing website. Although the emails lack cryptographic signatures, they contained a vast amount of unpublished private photographs and documents from Barak and his inner circle, including information that was not publicly known at the time. More on the verification at the bottom of this article. Messages spanning from 2013 to 2016 show intimate, oftentimes daily correspondence between Barak and Epstein. 2013 to 2016. He's already been convicted of child trafficking. Their conversations address political and business strategy as Epstein coordinated meetings with Barak and other members of his elite circles. In 2008, Epstein pled guilty to charges of procuring a minor for prostitution. Barak has denied knowledge of Epstein's sex trafficking and abuse of minors. This article is the first in a series that will explore Epstein's work on behalf of Israeli military interests, particularly as it relates to his role in the development of Israel's cyber warfare industry. This is it. This is the juicy shit. This is what we want to know. The rise of Israel's cyber surveillance and weapons industry has been one of the most significant geopolitical developments of the past 2 decades, making sophisticated hacking tools available as turnkey packages to police and military around the world. The spread of zero-click exploits that require no interaction from targets, coupled with the proliferation of web-connected devices in homes, offices, and manufacturing facilities, has transformed what is possible for spy agencies and those in their orbit. In the shadow of Israel's cyber boom was Jeffrey Epstein, who exploited his network of political and financial elites to help Barak and ultimately the Israeli government itself to increase the penetration of Israel's spy tech firms into foreign countries. Epstein actively supported the Israeli intelligence industry via venture capital investments and contributions to charitable organizations, non-governmental entities that laid the foundation for official Israeli security deal-making. The story of Israel's 2017 security agreement with Mongolia is a window into the true nature and scope of Epstein's operation. Fucking shit. You would like to read this article from Dropsite News, Ryan Grimm doing the Lord's work over there. Tomorrow, we are going to come on. It's going to be like a Super Troll Patrol day. I'm going to come on at like 4. We're going to be on all night. Oh, I forgot to mention that tomorrow night, very special live music Monday. We are going to watch a Tupac concert. For those who are unaware, Tupac's mom passed away a couple of days ago in Cuba. Accused of killing a cop, convicted of murder, escaped from prison, was granted political asylum in Cuba, passed away. This is Tupac's mom. In honor of Tupac's mom, we're going to watch her baby tomorrow night. I think it was House of Blues in like 96. And the video is not the best, but the audio is really good. It's multi-camera, it's pro shot. It's just still probably on VHS or something. But it sounds amazing. So tomorrow night, Live Music Monday on Kick. We're going to be watching Tupac. Assata Shakur, the fugitive black activist who escaped life sentence for killing a police officer, dies in Cuba. A black liberation activist who was given political asylum in Cuba after her 1979 escape from a U.S. prison where she had been serving a life sentence for killing a police officer has died. This is according to her daughter and the Cuban government. This is Tupac's mom. So tomorrow night, in honor of Tupac's mom, we're going to be watching Tupac live from the House of Blues. I think it's 1996. Shakur was born Joanne Deborah Chesimard. Apparently not holiday. September 26, 2025. I mean, I don't want to call bullshit on you again because I was wrong earlier, but I'm pretty sure I'm right on this one because I have seen numerous articles about it. Assata Shakur, a black liberation activist who was given political asylum in Cuba after her 1979 escape from a U.S. prison where she had been serving a life sentence for the killing of a police officer, has died. That's not his mom. You're calling bullshit on I swear. Tupac's mom died. Shakur, who was born Joanne Deborah Chesimard, died on Thursday in the capital of Havana due to health conditions and advanced age. Shakur's case had long been a thorny issue in the fraught relations between the U.S. and Cuba American authorities, including President Donald Trump during his first term. He had demanded her return from the communist nation for decades. In her telling and in the minds of her supporters, she was pursued for crimes she didn't commit or that were justified. The FBI put Shakur on its list of most wanted terrorists. Shakur and two others were involved in a gunfight with New Jersey State Police troopers following a highway traffic stop on May 2nd, 1973. Shakur was found guilty in 1977 of murder, armed robbery, and other crimes and was sentenced to life in prison only to escape in November of 1979. Members of the Black Liberation Army posing as visitors stormed the Clinton Correctional Facility for Women, took two guards hostage, and commandeered a prison band to break Shakur out. She disappeared before eventually emerging in 1984 in Cuba, where Fidel Castro granted her asylum. Oh, she was a godmother. Okay, maybe I misread it when I was asleep this morning. Okay, Tupac's godmother died. So in honor of her, we're going to watch Tupac tomorrow on Kick. Should be fucking awesome. I'm a big Tupac fan. Oh, also tomorrow, we're going to be coming up on the shutdown. The shutdown happens Tuesday night at midnight. Trump apparently supposedly going to have a meeting tomorrow, but that might have been called off. I don't know what the latest is. Even this might be old news at this point.
Lawmakers have until late Tuesday to pass a spending bill or face a government shutdown as leaders battle over funding. Federal workers worry about possible layoffs. Jen Sullivan has more.
Time is running out for lawmakers to pass a spending plan and avoid a government shutdown. They have until 11:59 Tuesday night, or the government will shut down on Wednesday.
The Democrats want to shut it down. If it has to shut down, it'll have to shut down. But they're the ones that are shutting down.
The Republicans
Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down.
Dominated House
Remix that.
Temporary plan to fund the government, but it's stalled in the Senate, where Republicans have a 6-seat majority.
Mr. President, if you're watching television, shut it off and come sit down and negotiate with us.
Many Democrats are refusing to back down.
He said that on C-SPAN, not Fox.
Affordable Care Act subsidies that lower the cost of health insurance for millions of Americans.
We will not support this partisan Republican spending bill because it continues to gut the health care of the American people.
Further complicating the looming shutdown, the White House Budget Office has directed federal agencies to use this opportunity to prepare sweeping new layoffs, according to a memo obtained by CNN. Earlier this year, the Trump administration and Elon Musk's backed government efficiency team known as DOGE fired thousands of federal workers to help cut spending. The directive is spreading widespread fear. One federal employee telling CNN, quote, "This kind of treatment is inhumane. I don't even know how to prepare for the complete unknown." Since Trump took office in January, out of more than 2 million federal employees, more than 51,000 have been cut as of July. Hundreds of thousands of more workers are expected to drop off the federal payroll in October as part of the Trump administration's deferred resignation program. I'm Jen Sullivan, report.
You can't tell me he ain't trying to take over the government. Do you guys remember last week I played you video of Jojo Siwa, the Republican candidate for mayor in New York City? And he said any day now, Eric Adams will realize the price is right. The price is high enough and he'll drop out of the race. JoJo was right.
Adams, 65 years old, has had a long career in New York City politics. We're going to take a look back now at that career with Bill Ritter.
I'm Eric Adams.
For the love of God, I hope it's over.
This is where it all began.
Long before he announced his first run for New York mayor back in November 2020, Eric Adams had spent his adult life serving New York City. He was a transit cop and an NYPD cop for 22 years.
But they're eulogizing him.
Rank of captain. Now, during that time, he helped found 100 Blacks in Law Enforcement Who Care, an advocacy group that fought back against racial profiling and police brutality.
91% of the uniformed personnel in the rank of captain of above are Caucasian. 91%.
After policing, it was on to politics. Adams was elected a New York State senator representing Central Brooklyn. And after 7 years in the state legislature, he was elected Brooklyn Borough President.
We want to hear from you. We want to hear how do we continue to move our communities forward.
Mr. Adams then set his sights on City Hall.
We need a professional that know how to keep this city safe.
That message of public safety 1 year into the pandemic resonated with voters, and Adams won a crowded Democratic primary field. Then it was on to the general election, where he easily defeated Republican Curtis Sliwa and inherited a complicated city looking to emerge from the pandemic.
We are going
Old Jojo Siwa.
And his administration did have success rebuilding the economy, reducing crime, and boosting both tourism and student test scores.
We have achieved record drops in crime, record increases in affordable housing, and the highest number of jobs in New York City history.
But scandal seemed to follow both Mr. Adams and key members of his inner circle.
Breaking news, a sprawling federal investigation tonight focusing on senior officials in New York City Mayor Adams' administration. Agents searched the homes of several top aides and they subpoenaed the cell phones of top NYPD officials.
While the mayor himself was not implicated.
I think that I have not done anything wrong.
It was not long after he found himself at the center of a federal investigation, indicted on the charges of bribery, conspiracy, fraud, and soliciting illegal campaign donations.
I've done nothing wrong. Time will prove that.
Ultimately, the mayor never had his day in court. The Trump Justice Department took over and told prosecutors to drop the case against him.
I thank the Justice Department for its honesty. Now, we can put this cruel episode behind us.
The charges were dropped, but the mayor said the case precluded him from launching a proper Democratic primary campaign.
I am announcing that I will forego the Democratic primary for mayor and appeal directly to all New Yorkers as an independent candidate in the general election.
Because he didn't want to get stomped in the primary.
And that was Bill Ritter giving us a very clear look at the career of Mayor Adams.
Hopefully the eulogy of his career.
Is bowing out of the race.
Dropped out of the race for mayor. Apparently got some of that Cuomo money. I'm kind of sad because I would have liked to have had him in the debates. Adams, Mamdani, Siwa, and Cuomo. I guess that's more time for Mamdani to be able to talk. Something else we're going to be looking at this week is hurricane coverage. You might need to batten down the hatches if you're on the East Coast.
First tonight, our eyes are out on the tropics as the tropical storm Imelda continues to make its way parallel to the state's east coast. Good evening and thanks for joining us here on West 2. I'm Luana Munoz. A new advisory canceling tropical storm watches for our coastal communities. We have live team coverage for you tonight with West 2's David Jones out in Port Canaveral. But first, we're going to kick things off with our team of first warning meteorologists, beginning with the chief, Tony. Some good news for us here in Central Florida, but there are still some major risks out there in the water.
News is good for folks along the coast. Those tropical storm watches have been lifted, but the offshore tropical storm warnings for mariners remain in play. Let me show you the speed now. That's the biggie here too. Speeding up to 9 miles an hour. Winds are now at 40 miles an hour around that center. And the other big takeaway, notice the path down the road more towards the northeast and becoming a hurricane as it's
down the road, not across the
from
street.
Central Florida. So some good news there on that front. All right, Tropical Storm Imelda, very, very good model agreement here. And that turn to the east kicks in now during the day on Tuesday, then shoots out towards Bermuda. Again, more good.
Can I say that on the stream?
Takeaway though, even though those tropical storm watches have been lifted, we have those offshore tropical storm warnings.
Got me banned on Facebook one time.
Down the coast from Volusia County all the way down towards Barefoot Bay. As we track the tropics.
I hope he is, Richard. He's polling at like 14, 15%. That's why Adams dropped out.
We've got Umberto. We are seeing some rain here. Nothing severe. Some gusty winds along the coast. Some pockets of heavy rain.
So basically, Umberto is pulling this Melda
see how the rain is pulled back
out into the Atlantic.
And that could agitate the seas as well as this continues to develop. With more on Imelda, here's Marquise.
But it could possibly form into a superstorm and still come back, but the likelihood of that is
for our inland
low.
Along the coast, what we're still going to be watching out for are rough surf conditions. Those will remain high through Thursday.
Why is Kevin Hart doing the weather?
High through Wednesday, and we could still have those tropical storm force winds occasionally.
You think he's on a little block, a little stool?
Plus miles per hour. Coastal flooding concerns remain
line up on the green screen.
Most of the rain from Imelda remaining offshore, but I want to take a look at the current wave heights. This is for Hurricane Umberto. We see that wave height right there in the center, 43-foot conditions. Closer to Imelda, waves range anywhere between 5 and 10 feet, and that's what we're going to see along our coastlines here in Central Florida coming up. In fact, offshore, these wave heights are going to be even greater, where we see this brighter shade of green and yellow. 15 to 20-foot concerns there. Close to the shoreline, those breaking waves anywhere between 4 and 8 feet indicated by that light shade of blue. But I want to pay a close attention to this. Wednesday and Thursday, no real significant changes.
As racist as D.L. Hughley.
In fact, will still remain anywhere between 4 and 8 feet all the way through Friday coming up. And keep in mind that rip current risk will remain high all the way through Wednesday. So even for our best swimmers out there, the coast is no place you want to go, as that rip current risk is high, as well as the surf conditions. Those will be high as well. But we haven't even touched on the winds yet. I will do so, though, coming up in the next 15 minutes.
All right.
Blue Horror, welcome in. I'm glad you had to go back like 4 years. We just had like 2 white dudes today. Oh. 3 years, I don't know. It's been a little bit. Oh, wait a minute. Let's hit a bong. You guys want to hit a bong before we get to some crime? We're getting ready to get into the crime section of the show, and usually always put the disclaimer out there. But tonight, all the killings were at the beginning of the show. The mass shootings. So the crime stuff is kind of, I mean, there's some serious crime, but I don't think anybody was, like, dead. So what you're saying is white people are really bad at shooting and terrorism. Yeah, I believe it. Let's go to the Bay Area. We have a smash and grab. Remember the other day we were wondering why that police chase was going on? Somebody in the chat was like, it's a distraction to keep the cops away from something else. Was this the same day?
Well, we begin with the smash and grab robberies that have terrified jewelry shop owners and their customers all across the Bay Area. Most recent, this frightening takeover in San Ramon. The thieves shooting their way through a locked door just to escape. A new drone video from police shows the mob streaming out of the Heller Jewelers at City Center Bishop Ranch, where they had several getaway cars pre-positioned to make that quick escape. And we've seen similar incidents in every part of the Bay Area. This robbery in San Jose rattling community members after the store owner was beaten so badly he had a stroke. Our Brad Hamilton spoke to law enforcement about the challenges that these cases present and how teamwork and technology led to some quick arrests in San Ramon. Hey, Brad.
He looks like a Brad.
As you just said, police went to work here earlier this week on that smash and grab robbery that involved more than 20 suspects. Now, so far, they have 7 arrested, and now they're showing us how they're trying to finish the job.
Smash, grab, go. The steps of the crime are simple, but investigator Lacey Palejo with the
sounds like it could be a dance
department says tracing those steps is anything but.
Suspects were getting a little more sophisticated in the planning of it. So it is one of those that we learn from it and we adapt.
And just this week, another tough case landed on her desk. Monday afternoon, a group of about 25
She's cute. Does ACAB apply to her?
Jewelers at City Center Bishop Ranch. Newly released video from police show the robbers storming the store and smashing display cases.
Be my GOP mommy.
Cell phone video showed the suspects getting locked inside, then firing multiple shots to break the glass door and escape. The first to arrive, the department's drone team, headed by Lieutenant Mark Gunning.
The sergeant overheard the radio traffic from Alameda County. The operator in the drone room overheard that also, that some jewelry suspects may be coming to town, and our drone operators immediately lifted off.
And they flew overhead just in time to capture crystal clear images of the getaway as the suspects ran into waiting cars in the valet area of the parking lot. That video can make all of the difference in tracking down suspects. San Ramon PD says in this case, 3 adults and 1 minor were eventually arrested in Oakland. And
how is it that steady?
In Dublin. Now, investigators are looking into whether they could be connected to other similar crimes around the Bay Area.
When we look at the cases here in San Jose, in Sunnyvale, and Milpitas.
Edward Liang with the Santa Clara County District Attorney's Office has studied these cases closely. He believes the reason they've become so common, weak punishment.
When we look at smash and grabs, a lot of times they're charged as robberies, right? But
this dude looks like Khan from King of the Hill.
The overall organized retail theft.
But he says state legislation
is that racist?
Could help curb the trend.
Because he does. You can't tell me he doesn't. Is this dude low-Asian? This is super racist, actually. I was trying to get one where he didn't look like, he had some disorder. Phone. I am a horrible person. I don't know why you guys watch me. It's the same picture. It's the same picture.
Or charged as robberies, right? But it is like a much more violent subset of the overall organized.
Same haircut and everything.
But he says state legislation recently passed could help curb the trend.
Certain crimes, certain felonies with 3 or more people, which this would definitely fall under, then there's a potential for increased punishment there. There's potential increased punishment depending on the amount of taking, so how much gets stolen.
Police are confident overall that with regional collaboration, the help of new technology, and new laws on their side, smash and grabs won't be quite so easy in the future.
They were working together to try to prevent this, lessen the amount of these incidents that are occurring.
Yeah, technology making a huge difference, even here in law enforcement. And again, this investigation on Monday still underway. You have 7 arrests so far, but they are looking for maybe 13, possibly even more suspects involved. So if you know anything, please call police here in San Ramon.
I really need to pick a lane. If I'm going to be racist, I need to turn right-winger. What can I do that would ever get me canceled, my lord? Like, there's like nothing in my past that can come out that like every single one of you wouldn't be like, yeah, that sounds like Justin. yeah, that sounds like something Justin would do. I mean, I in my stand-up sets with don't do anything I wouldn't do. However, that doesn't limit your options very much at all. I wouldn't do this, though. I totally wouldn't try to rob 2 off-duty cops. It got this dude shot in New York City.
And we are following breaking news at Penn Station. A man tried to rob a couple, but what he didn't know, they're off-duty cops.
Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger at the scene with all the details. Josh?
Joe and Sandra, these 2 officers are married. They're husband and wife and had just worked a tour providing security to dignitaries at the UN General Assembly. Who knew the ride home from work would be the most dangerous part of their day? It was quite a shock for a trainload of commuters bound for Ronkonkoma tonight, who watched, stunned, as police tended to the bleeding suspect in the middle of the platform. The man shot in the arm and abdomen by an off-duty NYPD officer.
Once again, the station called me. They're trying to resolve the situation to get this train moving.
It started at the height of rush hour when police say the man threatened and tried to mug an off-duty cop who was heading home with his wife, also an officer. The assailant wound up in a scuffle with the husband, and that's when police say the wife pulled her gun and fired, hitting the suspect. Police spent hours trying to make sense of the scene as the nightly commuter mayhem swirled around them. Sources say the 32-year-old suspect, who lives in a shelter in Brooklyn, has 5 prior unsealed arrests, mostly for assault and menacing, including one alleged assault just last month. And the investigation does continue. That suspect was hospitalized at Bellevue Hospital with a non-life-threatening injury. The husband, the officer he was scuffling with, suffered a laceration to the head. So why did the other officer pull the trigger? Police say they're investigating whether the suspect had simulated having a weapon. It turned out he was not armed. Service here at Penn Station was uninterrupted throughout, and everything seems more or less back to normal at this hour. We're live at Penn Station.
Did the cops not even get robbed?
Eyewitness News.
Simulated having a weapon, but he wasn't armed. They just thought somebody looked threatening. They took him down, didn't they? Woman apparently got robbed at a car wash, and we got video of it.
Violent robbery at a Reseda car wash. Surveillance cameras rolling as a nursing student is pushed to the ground before losing her life savings. That robbery victim just came from the bank. Fox 11's Chelsea Edwards is live now in Van Nuys with the exclusive story for us. Chelsea.
Susan, police believe that the thieves followed her from the bank to the car wash, then waited till she wasn't paying attention to rob her, not once, but twice. A brazen robbery caught on camera. Watch as this white Jeep pulls up next to a woman cleaning her car at a Reseda car wash. While she vacuums, someone sneaks in and grabs her purse. The victim, who goes by Anahita, didn't hear a thing. But then the robber comes back.
The first attempt he did, he grabbed my purse, and then he did not find the money. And when I just finished vacuuming, I put the vacuum back to the station, he jumped into the car and then opened the glove compartment and then took my wallet with my all credit card and then the cash money that I got it from the bank. And I started screaming, and then I hang into the door. The guy took the money, and then he pushed me to the ground, and then they drove away. Yeah, I got some bruises on my rib side and then scratches on my knee because he pushed me so hard.
Anahita had just taken $4,000 in cash out from a nearby bank, money the second-year nursing school student had saved to help bring her parents to the U.S. from Iran.
It was very important for me because it was all money that I had.
Anahita studies full-time. She works full-time as a caregiver, and now her dream of reuniting her family is on hold.
A person like me works so hard for money, going to school, going to work, and then when you're doing this, you're not just ruining the person's life, you are ruining the...
You need to go fund me for her.
Among the whole community.
A friend helped set up GoFundMe and hopes the community will now rally around her. Police told her the Jeep was stolen and the thieves likely followed her from the bank to the car wash. So far, no one's been caught.
Don't
here's the story if you didn't catch the GoFundMe and you feel compelled.
Now, we do have a link to that GoFundMe on our website, foxla.com. Anahita says any little bit would help so much and would be so greatly appreciated. Now, police say they are investigating. Nobody has been caught yet, but anyone with information who might help bring those thieves to justice should come forward. Reporting live from Van Nuys, I'm Chelsea Edwards, Fox 11 News.
Oh, that was Megan Kelly.
Clearly focused on the car. Did she even see one or both of the suspects?
Not the first time. So he goes in the first time. She didn't notice that had happened. But if you look in the video, you can see she looks through the car the second time and sees him, runs around, and then tries to stop him. She said she got a clear look at the suspect. She's given that description to police. And then they took off in that car, which, again, police believe was stolen. So, it really just...
Yeah,
a wild thing that happened, and certainly seemed targeted. The way that they did it, the way they parked up next to her, the way they knew that she had a vast amount of cash in the car and went back to get it, certainly seems.
That's what's wild.
Right, that she was targeted. All right, Chelsea, thank you.
She was definitely targeted, clearly. But like, how did they know she took out that much cash? Were they in the bank? Were they just loitering in the bank? Because, like, you don't just sit in the parking lot and, like, oh, that person took out $4,000. That doesn't make sense to me. I don't... Or is it a common thing for foreign nationals to be taking out large amounts of money from their bank instead of transferring it digitally? Because she says money to bring her family over. Was she going to send it to Iran? I'm baffled. Here's another proof that all cops are bastards. This woman is accused of deputy of stalking her.
Text message from him, and I was like, who is this? And then he was like, oh, it's your personal deputy. Then he showed up to my house.
A brief interaction with a Riverside County deputy turns into a nightmare for one woman who claims the deputy used law enforcement databases to stalk and harass her. Welcome, everyone, to Fox 11 News at 5 o'clock, simulcast on our sister station, Fox 11 Plus. I'm Marla Tejas here for Christine Devine. Fox 11's Rachel Aragon. She's live for us in Universal City with an interview now you'll see only on Fox 11.
Yeah, it did sound like possibly an inside thing.
Yeah, I spoke to a woman right now who's also a mother of two. She tells me she now is speaking out to tell her story because she says she doesn't want anyone in power to abuse their authority. She also tells me she doesn't want anyone else to be harassed like she was.
My son, my youngest one, he's a very talkative kid, so he went up to the police officers. And
Brianna Ortega says it was September 2023 when she and her sons had a brief interaction with law enforcement at a family event at Coachella. She says among the group was Riverside County Deputy Eric Piscatella.
I had a conversation with the sheriff, and that was that. You know, I didn't think anything of it.
Brianna says no contact information was exchanged, but she says months later she started receiving unsolicited texts. She says she did respond to him because she needed police assistance for an issue her sister had. But she says his texts became more persistent and romantic and escalated when he showed up to her house unannounced while in uniform.
As soon as I got there, I put my stuff down and I was walking to the bathroom, and then I hear banging on my door.
She says
cop knocking?
He claimed someone was in her backyard and had jumped the fence. Brianna says she became suspicious and started recording this encounter.
Yeah, you look pretty without makeup. Sorry, I didn't mean to be rude or unprofessional.
In the video, Brianna says you can hear him complimenting her and interacting with her kids.
What school do you guys go to?
That's when Brianna says she reported him to the Riverside County Sheriff's Department. Her attorney says after that, the department started an investigation.
It turns out
never let the motherfucker in.
Enforcement databases to access her personal information, including her phone number and address. And he was charged criminally and ultimately pled to several misdemeanor counts as a result of this.
Brianna says nearly 2 years later, the fear of being harassed or stalked still lingers.
I just, in a bubble, you know, I go to work, come back, and, you know, had to put up cameras and, you know, just try to protect myself the best way I can.
And we did reach out, of course, to the
very nice eyelashes
department about this lawsuit, which, by the way, was filed last month, and we are still waiting for a response. We're live in Studio City. Rachel Aragon, Fox 11 News.
And Rachel, what do we know about this deputy's current status since he did face misdemeanor charges?
Yeah, he is currently no longer with the department, of course, but again, the concern from the victim as well as the attorney, they told me today.
Amazed he got fired.
Of course, in other departments as well. So we'll see what happens there. But as you can hear from the victim herself just now, she was not pleased with those lesser charges.
All right, Rachel Aragon live for us in Universal City. Thank you so much.
You, Rachel Tarragon. This dude is probably innocent. I mean, he's probably guilty of what they're accusing him of, but let him go. He didn't mean no harm. Or maybe he did, and you probably shouldn't have been, like, fucking with him. Why the cops? I bet it's... Oh, by the way, last week I assumed that somebody had been on, like, an influencer had crypto, and that's why the family, the brothers or whatever it was from Texas, drove up to Michigan and kidnapped that family or whatever. Apparently they had been in some viral TikTok. That was a thing. I was like, how else would they know they had the crypto? But when I made the assertion, I didn't know that. But apparently they did indeed. Have like some viral TikTok. This man was arrested for pointing lasers at a police helicopter in a Florida neighborhood.
So we're getting some laser strikes with our aircraft. Gonna be North 19th and 131, Unit 202 apartment. Yeah, he's continuing to hit us with strikes. I'm trying to get a good description. Yeah, we're getting multiple laser strikes. He's still striking us right now. It's going to be just north of Freeman Place on 131. Yeah, building 6-5. He was on the second floor. My guess, it kind of looked like he went to the right side when he go up the stairs.
Yeah, so Mom's saying kid is away, go. It might be at the right house.
Alright, 10-4.
Do we have more?
Come to the house on your driver's side now. Should be a little car in the driveway and then a 4-door sedan.
All this.
Yeah, we got the laser. We see it. Looks like he's still standing on the back porch.
Turn around. Turn around. Come here. Police department, turn around. Put your hands right in your back. What? Put the cigarette out.
What is happening?
Put the cigarette out. Keep your hands where I can see them.
No,
Hey.
what?
Sorry.
I was trying to
Come inside. What's that? Come inside.
You shot at a helicopter.
10-4 in his hand. It was on. Alright, 10-4. Appreciate your help. Great job, sir. Thank you.
All that over a fucking laser, really? Officers arrested the man on the back porch without incident. Pointing a laser at an aircraft is a federal offense due to the extreme danger it poses to pilots and public safety. Is it a hazard? I feel like if you're not loitering around, you can't just point a laser at somebody from the ground. What's a cop doing loitering around the neighborhood? Man wanted to counteract vandalism in a creative way.
What can you do? I mean, there's so many more things that you can worry about in life than a broken glass. I love it though. My name is Steve Jameson, born and raised in Philadelphia from Nicetown, and I am the owner of Blue Soul Shoes. This is video surveillance of the person when he threw the brick at the window. So it happened a couple of weeks ago. Someone just picked up a couple of bricks from further up the street, threw a brick at the window, threw another brick at the building adjacent to mine, and kind of walked off. Yeah, it's really broken. I saw the damage.
Just for no fucking reason.
Distraught immediately, of course. And so I wanted my customers and people who walk by to feel better about the situation. And so I took a boot, cut it in half, and I used epoxy to glue the boot one half to the inside and another half to the outside of the window, just to create a visual effect and something really artistic and creative. It makes me smile every day. I see so many people on a regular basis, like taking photographs, touching the glass.
It's right on brand. It's perfect.
It brings smiles to people's faces every single day. Sometimes there's a crowd of people gathered around, like having a discussion about it. Like, is it real? Is it not? I get a kick out of it. I love it.
This is in Philly.
I love it. It's very Steve.
The initial estimation was a 6 to 8 week process for the new glass to arrive. So once that comes, the installation will be down. My fascination with shoes started ever since I was a kid. Since then, I've always wanted to own my own shoe store in fashion. The dream came true in 2007. It was a year after I had lost my job. 18 years have been great. It's been challenging, of course, but the city has supported me, embraced me, and that's why I'm still here. Life throws you curveballs, life throws you obstacles. Just, find a way to be more creative about how you approach things and make good out of whatever challenges you're faced with.
I like his attitude. That was a lot of fun. I'm glad we watched that. Probably should have put this after this other one. Because this family probably going to be horrified. Their house has shifted. That was far more lighthearted. Or I don't know, it's a pretty big fucking house. You guys may be like, fuck them, they're rich.
Now to this, land movement overnight near oceanfront homes in Rancho Palos Verdes.
Fire officials say a 300-foot section of land made a significant shift. KTLA's Omar Lewis live in Rancho Palos Verdes with more on this concerning land movement. Omar, unfortunately.
Rancho Palos Verdes sounds like something I'd order at a Mexican restaurant.
For the people that live in this region, they are.
I'm horrible.
Absolutely. Good morning, Lauren and Megan. We just spoke to LA County firefighters and residents of this hillside community. As you mentioned, not
means something like Green Ranch, doesn't it?
But just last night around 8 o'clock, they tell us the homeowner at this home here on Marguerite Drive called in to first responders to report that they noticed land movement in their backyard. Crews came out. They found that section of ground that had significantly shifted here. Fortunately, at this point, no homes were damaged and there are no evacuation orders in place. Firefighters say they notified the Rancho Palos Verdes around 9 p.m. last night to follow up and bring.
I was wrong. Their home didn't shift.
Once there's more daylight. While firefighters say a preliminary investigation found no structural damage last night, the area has long battled unstable ground, and yesterday they discovered that shift in the land of this backyard about 300 feet in length. We spoke to a resident out here this morning who knows this homeowner that made the report. He tells me they voluntarily evacuated last night and stayed at a hotel out of an abundance of caution.
One of my residents' friends said that his backyard fell in, but there's no structural damage. But out of precaution, they went into a hotel last night. There was a crack that had developed, so it wasn't a surprise. It's kind of happens like it happened at the Trop golf course. The ground doesn't have time for the water to drain.
The Portuguese Bend landslide complex nearby spans some 700 acres after record rainfall in 2023 and 2024. Movement in the clay soil here accelerated rapidly, in some places up to 4 inches a week. Since then, city officials have been monitoring conditions closely, launching dewatering projects and even coordinating FEMA-funded buyouts for some homeowners living in the most vulnerable zones. And with rainfall all across SoCal yesterday, that certainly did not help the situation out here in this area. Back out here live this morning again, firefighters finding that 300-foot section of land that shifted last night in this backyard. Again, no structural damage to report right now. However, engineers will be back out on this scene, we're told, later today. That is the latest for now here live from Rancho Palos Verdes this morning. I'm Omar Lewis. Lauren and Megan will send it back to you.
Well, let's dip our toes back into a little politics in this. Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene warns that she is not suicidal should something happen to her as she pushes for the Epstein files. Media Winch, welcome in. By the way, apparently there's some juicy details coming out in Ron's reporting. Dershowitz and Epstein apparently talked about sex tourism laws. Oh, Dershowitz. Georgia Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene declared that people should remember she is not suicidal should something happen to her in the wake of her support of a petition for the release of the Epstein files. The conservative firebrand took to X on Saturday to dispel any notion that she would take her own life as she reiterated her desire to expose the Epstein rape and pedophile network. I am not suicidal. And one of the happiest, healthiest people you will meet. With that said, if something happens to me, I ask you all to find out which foreign government or powerful people would take heinous actions to stop the information from coming out. People understand what I'm saying. Never stop being you, MGT. Or MTG. What was it Sam said about Sam Cedar said about like if Alex Jones didn't exist, the CIA would create him. Fucking feels like Marjorie Taylor Greene as well. Like if she wasn't real, the CIA would create her. It'd be great if she wasn't the only crazy out there. Like if it was just her, we could all like laugh. It'd be fun and games, but it's not just her. Fucking the dude at the boat dock, apparently a QAnon motherfucker. Good possibility with the guy that drove his truck into the side of the church. Apparently, Candace Owens is going to go nuclear tomorrow. Are you guys prepared for it? This could be huge.
Okay, I didn't want to leave you guys on a crazy weekend cliffhanger. I needed to get that information out as soon as possible. Obviously, you can probably see that I received some information, a communication, which answered a lot of questions that the public has had about the story, or rather the non-story that we are getting from the feds. The push that Tyler Robinson is this lone shooter, which they're trying to establish as a fact. Some of the burning questions that we had, okay, well, if he turned himself in, how did he also not confess? I now have the answers to that. The main point, the reason why this information came to me, is because there's a narrative being spun right now by the media that Tyler Robinson is or was suicidal. That is not true. And that's a very scary thing when suddenly they're saying he's suicidal and, you know, he's in solitary, and he's not suicidal. So that was the reason why this information urgently came to me. Obviously, I know a lot more, and I'm going to share it with you guys on Monday. I just wanted to vet some of the things that I heard, ask some more questions from people that would know.
So there was a lot of claims that went by that she didn't actually express. I wanted to break this news immediately because it feels important. I think if I don't break it immediately, something bad might happen. I hope I have earned the trust enough of the people to believe me when I say I've verified this information but cannot reveal the
Leave you guys
source.
on a crazy weekend cliffhanger. I needed to get that information out as soon as possible. Obviously, you can.
Tyler Robinson is not suicidal. The entire narrative that he was placed in, that was placed in the media about him having been suicidal is completely fictional, as are many other aspects of what you've been told.
See that I received some information, a communication, which answered a lot of questions that the public has.
His father having turned him in after a confession is also complete fiction. To the contrary, Tyler Robinson maintains his innocence and has never even been to the UVU campus. There are absolutely zero photos or videos that the campus can produce to the contrary.
Had about the story, or rather the non-story that we are getting from the feds, the push that Tyler Robinson.
Which is why they produced nothing other than a blurry image which Tyler's family knows is not him. Tyler has never once expressed a suicidal thought. I want to make that clear. The federal government is lying about absolutely everything other than the fact that it is his gun.
This lone shooter, which they're trying to establish as a fact. Some of the burning questions that we had, okay, well, if he turned himself in, how...
Not that we needed further substantiation, but Tyler Robinson did not author those Discord messages. I would like to again stress that he has never been to UVU campus, but, and I need to confirm this later, I believe he was around the campus that day. I will have more on this later, but I wanted to immediately publish that the Tyler Robinson suicide narrative, plus the dad that did the right thing, after realizing his son was guilty is a federal concoction.
But he also not confess. I now have the answers to that. The main point, the reason why this information came to me is because there's a narrative being spun right now by the media that Tyler Robinson is or was suicidal. That is not true. And that's a very scary thing when suddenly they're saying he's suicidal and, you know, he's in solitary and he's not suicidal. So that was the reason why this information urgently came to me. Obviously, I know a lot more and I'm going to share it with you guys on Monday. I just wanted to vet some of the things that I heard, ask some more questions from people that would know, and just to make sure everything I say is above board. And obviously this lead led to more leads and I want to give people a chance to respond. This is crazy. Nothing more that I can say. This is very serious. I don't know what's going on, but I do know that what we are being told has gone on is just not so. And yeah, this is really kind of going to begin, I think, to answer a lot of questions.
It's a great plug for a show on Monday.
So I just wanted to let you know that what they're telling us about him being suicidal is not true.
Well, there is a power vacuum right now, or at least a spot, an organization that has some sort of audience that they're all vying for. They've already manufactured a new Charlie Kirk. And this is him on a private plane.
What's up, America? Brian Holly Hint here, about 30,000 feet up. We are on the way to Arkansas. So everybody in line at the University of Arkansas to kick off my 10-stop campus tour. We are coming to you right here, right now. Stay in line. We have gotten a third room because we have sold out this campus stop 3 times. But we are coming to you. We will fit you in. Students will get priority, but we will make it happen. I cannot be more excited. We are back. We are on the road. We're coming to you one conversation at a time. If you're not at the University of Arkansas, we're coming to a campus near you soon, so check out my...
Someone on Twitter commented that it's brave of them to pick somebody with an even longer neck. I think it's wild that they show themselves just flying around in a private jet. I think Charlie was self-aware enough to not go videotaping himself on a private jet. That way he come across as more of an everyman. Don't think you're going to do very good there, bud. But what do I know? Man who, I feel his pain. He's been banned from YouTube. I'm currently banned on Twitch. Nick Fuentes apparently has a wild rant, his own conspiracy theory about Erica Kirk.
Charlie and Erica, I do not believe for 1 second that they met organically. How do you think they met each other? Do you think that they bumped into each other at CPAC and Charlie said, hey, let's go on a date? No, they were set up together by somebody. Who set them up? Charlie, I'm sure, he's super ambitious, super powerful, running this organization. They told him you need a wife. I'm sure he wants a wife. They told him you need a wife. If you want to run for office, you need a wife and kids, you need a family. They're grooming him to be super powerful. So he's hanging out at Bohemian Grove, and they say, we need to give you a wife. We know somebody. We know this girl. And she's...
I'm thinking I'm not high enough.
How do they know her? Who set them up, and where did this girl come from that's going to be Charlie Kirk's wife and bear his children? I think that was an arranged marriage. And that tells me that she is tapped into some kind of network in some way. I don't know how. People talk about she was a pageant girl and she ran this charity. Maybe there's a connection there. I would not be surprised at all. That, if you're talking about Erica Kirk, that I believe. People say Israel killed Charlie Kirk. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Let's look at the marriage. Erica Kirk is now taking over Turning Point. That's suspicious as fuck. Because What we
wait. Does he think Erica had him killed?
Led to believe is that Erica Kirk is the archetypal trad girl. Isn't that the perception they're cultivating? When you look at some of these clips, she's supposed to be the ultimate trad wife. She's speaking at the Young Women's Leadership Summit. She's on podcasts saying, oh my gosh, I can't focus because I'm so in love with Charlie. If he's here, I can't focus. I'm so smitten. Like, that's the character that she's playing. That's the character that they're selling us. Her husband gets shot in the neck.
This is amazing.
In front of everybody. Shouldn't Miss Tradwife, shouldn't she be like despondent? And I'm not trying to judge how people grieve. It's not our position to judge how they grieve or what their response is. Maybe she's just got unbelievable resolve.
Oh, how nice of you, Nick.
But if she really is the ultimate trad wife who knows her place and is a helper to her husband, a helpmate, and she's so smitten with him and she's the perfect trad wife like how she's been presented to us for years, then when her husband gets shot in the neck and blood starts spurting everywhere in front of everybody who starts screaming and running away, shouldn't she be like in shock? Shouldn't she be like in a catatonic state or crying and be
okay? I've heard people say that she was there, that she and the kids were there, but I've not actually seen that from any official reporting. Was she and the kids there with him? And also, I watched the video of him pulling in, and he's just alone in a SUV. He's got like his people there, not like his kids or anything.
Be in a veil as a widow somewhere? But that's not what we got at all. The second he dies, she takes over Turning Point. That happened like 2 days later. She's all of a sudden the president of this $500 million organization. Super influential, now super powerful after Charlie became a martyr, and she's given speeches. She's given a speech, and the speech, I'm sorry, it's totally canned. The first speech she gave next to his empty chair, she's like doing this weird affect, wiping away tears that aren't there.
I thought so too.
With this scripted speech, you know.
I agree with Nick Fuentes on this point.
The cries of this widow will echo like a... And then at the WWE Memorial, she comes out to fireworks and she does this like she's Mary.
I put it to the Cody Rhodes theme.
Her white suit, her makeup, her hair did, and she goes out with fireworks at her husband's fucking funeral like this. She fucking posed. Did you see that?
I did. I made a video about it.
And then she goes up and says, yeah, I'm running Turning Point now, and this is how... It's giving me like Claire Underwood vibes. I think that was an arranged marriage, and either she was like a handler or she was... she had political ambitions of her own. But yeah, I don't know. Look, who is Erica Kirk now? This is a person that is being foisted on us. And look, don't get me wrong. You lost your husband. I am deeply sorry for you. I really am. I'm praying for you. I am deeply sorry for you. I can't imagine what you're going through. But you becoming president of Turning Point and now being foisted upon us, that's an altogether different story. You know, it's like I said on Monday, and Alex Jones didn't like this. He said it was mean. A lot of people didn't like it. You want our sympathy? You got it. You want our prayers? You got it. People would, you know, walk over broken glass for this widow who can even sympathize, who can even understand what she's going through right now. But they're asking us to accept...
You don't want me to be Nick Fuentes' video editor. Come on.
...her on us as a political leader, and that I don't like. I don't like that because that's manipulative. That is predatory. She's the widow. Who can criticize her? She's a widow. Who could ever say anything negative about her? They're exploiting that. They're exploiting that. She's untouchable.
Oh man, the right wing exploiting things.
She's the victim of the tragedy. It's like when a victim of a school shooting starts running an anti-gun nonprofit. You know, it's like March for Our Lives, because who could criticize a kid that almost got killed in a school shooting? You know, it's giving me vibes. I don't like that. I don't like when some victim of some atrocity is then presented as a political figure, because it's like, okay, who the fuck are you? You're the victim of some tragedy? That sounds like a really shitty thing to say, but it's like, how do I know you're not being controlled by somebody? Because quite honestly, we knew who Charlie Kirk was and he built the organization. We have no idea who you are. What makes you qualified to run Turning Point? Because your husband got killed? What makes you qualified? We don't know anything about you. We don't know where you came from. We don't know anything about you. For all we know, you are working for some other person, or now the board is going to run it. Now some shadowy force is going to run Turning Point through you, or you represent. We don't know. We don't know who you are. But no one can say that because she's a widow, and that I don't like. Because this is a high-profile killing. It is forcing people to ask a lot of questions. And this is the one aspect of it that we're not allowed to ask questions about because it's in bad taste. Well, you know what? This is politics. If you want to speak at the funeral, no one's going to question that. But you seize control of the organization right away, I'm seizing the reins. And no one dare question me because I'm a widow. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. And it doesn't really track. Like I said, if you watch any of the clips, it's just like downright insulting the way that she's presented as
I thought so.
Wife. And correct me if I'm wrong, and I might be, but if you're the ultimate trad wife, shouldn't you be a little bit more torn up about this? I know I sound like an asshole. Where's the tears? Really? You're a trad wife? You're a helpmate. You're smitten. You're so in love. Blah, blah, blah. Your husband got publicly executed in front of all of his adoring fans 3 days ago. You're giving a speech today.
He sure did.
Control a Turning Point, vowing like that we're going to make Turning Point bigger than ever.
Like and subscribe, guys. She totally did it.
Behavior? Who is this person exactly? Who is this? No one knows. So listen, and I know I don't really buy a lot of the Israel conspiracies. That is something I'm very interested in. Erica Kirk is someone I'm very interested in. You know, when people talk about energy weapons and decoy shooters and trap doors, you lose me. When you talk about the person that succeeds Charlie Kirk, that's relevant. Who's going to take his place? Good question. It's the wife. Who's the wife? No one knows. So, you know, some of that stuff, you know, the Epstein files, I don't know how much that plays into it because Charlie was in favor of covering them up.
Yeah, he was.
A week after the DOJ covered up the Epstein files, Charlie Kirk went on his show and said,
like, oh, I don't care about the Epstein files.
I don't want to ask any more questions about it. So I don't think that had anything to do with it. I think they just took advantage of it. But yeah, but the wife is sort of interesting. And I know I sound like a jerk. Fine. I sound like a jerk. I don't care. That's a question that needs to be answered. And she's in politics now. If she wanted to be a widow, then, you know, she should have just started some fucking foundation and said, we're giving out the Charlie Kirk Memorial Scholarship or something. But she took control of a $500 million all-important political org that just got way more important.
Did it.
And, you know, succeeding a guy that died, it's a little suspicious. So, yeah, I gave me a very bad taste in my mouth.
I don't know that they're going to be able to keep it together.
I mean, tell me what you think. One's in the chat if you think I'm onto something. Two, if you think I'm a dick. Because I'm actually curious. I'm actually curious how many people bought it. And I didn't want to say that right out of the gate because I know how that sounds and I know that comes across a certain way. But I'm just telling you, gut level, my reaction. When I saw her first speech, when I saw her second speech, I said, I don't like this. Something's not right here.
I'm going to have to agree with little Nikki. For once. Vivek is upset that Nikki and Alex Jones didn't get to come back to YouTube last week. I hope YouTube doesn't give me shit over playing that Nick Fuentes clip, which was on YouTube. Dear YouTube, he says.
This is a message for the leadership of YouTube. Frankly, I probably could have called you privately, but I think it's better to just talk about this in the open on this particular issue.
I hate this dude.
My understanding is in the last 24 hours, you locked the accounts and shut down the accounts of two guys, Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones. They have big followings on the American right. I think it's better if you just unlock those accounts and let the guys be heard. And I say this not because I'm some particular fan or vice versa. At least one of them, Nick, is probably not a particularly big fan of mine. No more than Jimmy Kimmel is, by the way, for very different reasons. That's beside the point. It doesn't matter. The reason I'm asking you to do it is that censorship isn't good for America. It's antithetical to our culture.
And Vivek, where is my goddamn video about me getting a 30-day ban on Twitch? I demand that you make a video about me. Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones going to be just fine. Well, Alex Jones totally not going to be fine once the conservatorship decides what they're going to do with his company. But that's besides the point. He brought that on himself. Where's my video about me getting a 30-day ban on Twitch? I demand you make a video for me, Vivek. Show everyone I'm a leftist. You supposedly, stand up for speech you don't agree with. Show everyone that you stand up for speech you don't agree with. Make a video to Jeff Bezos. Daddy Bezos, please let me back on Twitch.
We're the country on God's green earth where we're able to talk to each other in the open. And I want to credit YouTube and Google and your parent company and so much of your competitors in Silicon Valley for creating the first instance of the free and open internet with search engines. It's a beautiful thing for democratizing speech. But I think we take a step in the wrong direction when we choke those same technologies that allow us to access open debate and open ideas. It breeds discontent. It breeds frustration. It actually breeds mistrust. If you tell people they can't speak, that's when they scream. And if you tell people they can't scream, that's when they tear things down. So I think free speech is a precondition for peace. It's a precondition for the scientific method. It's a precondition for our shared unity, our shared national identity as Americans. Now, I can understand why you might think that certain types of speech or certain things that are said that are hurtful to other people or that may spread misinformation or may they count as violent or dangerous threats shouldn't be allowed on your platform. I personally take a broad view of what type of speech is an expression of an opinion that's protected, but that's a separate discussion about whether somebody says a particular thing that you think doesn't belong on your platform. That's one category of speech moderation. There's a different category of saying that you may demonetize certain people. You're not going to pay them, that even if they're able to speak on your platform.
Is he still talking?
It's not necessarily their right to be paid for doing so or putting advertisers next to their name. That's a separate discussion. Personally, I don't like any of those forms of speech suppression as a general matter, but at least those are discussions that reasonable minds can have. There's a whole separate third category of censorship, though, that I think is particularly harmful, which is the idea that just because of who you are, your name and who you are, you don't get to express any idea, whether it's misinformation, hateful speech, whether it's dangerous or whatever you deem it to be. Irrespective of that, you're not making that judgment. Just based on who you are, you don't get to speak. I think that breeds mistrust. I don't think that's good for our country. There's legal arguments to be had. I've made legal arguments elsewhere.
Is he glitching out?
In Wall Street Journal pieces. And there are legal arguments that you could construct that say that if a tech
the rift in the matrix,
Section 230, a government-created shield of immunity, that if a tech company is responding, even indirectly, to the threats of government officials, maybe that is actually even a legal First Amendment violation. That's not even what I'm talking about right now. What I'm talking about is not a legal point, it's just a cultural point. It's the question of whether this is good or bad for America. And I think we live in a moment right now where when we tell people, whether it's the government or even a powerful company, when you tell people that because of who you are, you deserve not to be heard, I think that actually divides us. Even if it's done with the best of intentions of thinking it brings most of the rest of the country together, in the long run, it actually throws kerosene on the very flame you were trying to quash. And so that's my ask to you. I'm not trying to do this in some type of faux indignation, angry way that escalates.
You sound indignant.
That's not the goal. I actually think that it's often possible to get to the right answer through just reasonable, open dialogue. That's what I hope this is. I hope you're able to reconsider a decision that you made that may have been a wrong decision. And I think we need more space as a country when people do make a wrong decision to be able to be given an option.
Why don't you tell everybody what Alex Jones did?
Thinking about it.
Why Nick Fuentes got taken down.
That all else equal, even though we intended well, we ought to let people speak and be heard. That's what I hope happens here. And so my ask is, and again, speaking as a guy who, from Jimmy Kimmel to Nick Fuentes, probably don't like me very much. I don't care. That doesn't matter. It's not what this is about. It's not even about the content. It's about the principle. I'd ask you to restore the accounts of those guys, and believe me, it will be a down payment on beginning to reunite this country, a project on which we have yet...
Putting two hateful motherfuckers that spread lies and conspiracy theories about people back on a platform will help heal the country. Did you hear what he just said? We've got some breaking news just in like the last few minutes. The Super Bowl halftime performer for this coming January, February, I don't know what Super Bowl it is. Hold on. Which one is it? Super Bowl, what is LX? I'm not even sure. What is LX? $207 apparently. 60 is 60. Super Bowl 60. Bad Bunny is the Super Bowl performer.
Se acostó temprano, mañana hay que estudiar.
Keith, welcome in. Thank you.
La amiga diciendo pa' janguear.
I like Bad Bunny. It'll be an alright show. I'm not against it. And he is like the biggest artist in the world, which is what's crazy. It's hard to comprehend exactly how big he is globally. I wouldn't have been upset with Metallica. There were people lobbying for Metallica. Metallica would have been cool. I feel like we do this story every year. This is a Soviet base in the Arctic. It's been taken over by polar bears. It says this footage is from 2025. If I remember correctly, like when the ice recedes, like they live on ground and shit. So like a house would be the perfect place for them to go to. Look how cute. Oh my God, he's rubbing his ass. Look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. Once again, tomorrow we're going to have a special Super Troll Patrol. Going to come on at like 4 o'clock in the afternoon. We're going to be covering the government shutdown that we are barreling towards. We're going to be watching Tupac for Live Music Monday on Kick. If you're on Kick right now, stick around. We're gonna do something. We're probably gonna have Media Winch on too. If she still wants to come on, but didn't offend her by not calling on her earlier. Kit can look forward to Media Winch. D Live. We'll go live over there. Podcast people, YouTube. Drake, welcome in, my friend. You need to come over to Kit because I'm just getting ready to turn YouTube off. And Media Winch is going to be joining us. Or you can go to D Live. I could turn Rumble on. We'd probably be on Rumble and do music and shit. I don't know. Good to see you, my friend. I am halfway through my Twitch ban. I'll be back in like 2 weeks. If I still have a place from which to do streaming. We'll see. Hit those links down there. I don't know what's real anymore either. This show was a fever dream. YouTube people, podcast people, light one up, tip one back. So I love him rubbing his ass on the rock. That's the cutest fucking thing. I showed the Charlie Kirk video. I think you were there that day I did the Charlie Kirk video, weren't you? Got me for graphic violence and gore. I only showed the long one. I thought I was good. All the others were censored, but Twitch wanted to be a bitch. But at least it's just a 30 this time and not a year. Yeah, we didn't even know he was dead at the time. I didn't know I watched... So we're watching the local news station live, right? Media Winch. I don't know if you were there that day. All of the people that they interviewed talked about him in the past tense. Like everybody that was a eyewitness talked about him as if he had died. So that kind of gave it away. Apparently he was. Apparently it was instantaneous. What was the Fox News show that the Fox News story that he stopped the bullet? That's just insane. Like it was a small caliber, wasn't it? It just got him in the carotid. September will have passed. That's the shitty part. And I had my best day on Twitch ever the day Charlie Kirk died. We had like a level 8 or 9 hype train or something. It was I made like a couple $100 on that one stream alone. It was a level 7. Thank you, Media Winch. I hyped up my hype train. I exaggerated my hype train. So yeah, I'm gonna try to like plug shit like Patreon and my Ko-fi. All the links are there. Like I don't usually ask for money, but like I really could use it. I don't like asking for money. If you would like to keep the Troll Patrol going over the next couple of weeks, I might need some money. YouTube, podcast, all you other people, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun with the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. We'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol live.